Style Service One.
I'm not the reason you're looking for redemption. You cut some strings and everything will fade away. You're trying to use some physical connection. There's nothing left for you to say, by the way.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to all the participants of the webinar series of Pelita Harapan School of Hospitality and Tourism.
Selamat datang di webinar series Fakultas Pariwisata Universitas Pelita Harapan. Perkenalkan, nama saya Junita.
And my name is Jessica. Today we are going to start our second webinar series with the title of Hygiene, Health, Safety and Security Preparation and Trainings for Hospitality and Tourism Education Entering New Normal Era.
Nah, hari ini kita akan memulai rangkaian webinar kedua kita yang berjudul Hygiene, Health, Safety, and Security Preparation and Trainings for Hospitality and Tourism Education Entering the New Normal Era.
Before we start, let us remind you about the rules and regulations of this webinar.
Sebelum kita memulai, kami akan membacakan tata tertib webinar pada hari ini. Pertama, mohon menuliskan nama lengkap sesuai pendaftaran pada ID Zoom masing-masing.
First, please write your full name according to the registration on your Zoom ID.
Peserta akan mendapatkan e-sertifikat apabila mengikuti sesi webinar ini dari awal acara hingga akhir acara, yaitu pukul 8.45 sampai 12.40.
Participants will get an e-certificate when attending this webinar session from the beginning of the session until the end of the session, which is 8:45 until 12:40 in the afternoon.
Selanjutnya, dimohon untuk menonaktifkan mikrofon selama acara berlangsung agar tidak mengganggu pembicara dan peserta lainnya.
Please deactivate or turn off your microphone during this seminar so as not to disturb others.
Gunakan Google Forms ketika Anda memiliki pertanyaan untuk sesi diskusi tanya jawab dengan mengisi link Google Forms yang telah disediakan dan diinformasikan di WhatsApp Group dan di Zoom Chat, yakni dengan maksimal 2 pertanyaan per penanya.
Please use Google Forms when you have any questions for the Q&A discussion session by filling out the Google Forms link that has been informed on the WhatsApp group and Zoom chat. Maximum 2 questions per askers.
Dimohon untuk menyalakan semua kamera Anda pada akhir sesi webinar series yang kedua untuk sesi foto bersama. Berpakaianlah dengan sopan dan rapi saat Anda menghidupkan kamera Anda.
Please turn on all your cameras at the end of the webinar series 2 session for a group photo session. Please use a proper and polite uniform when turning on your camera. Now let us gather in a prayer, and the prayer will be led in Christian. The rest may follow.
Sekarang mari kita bersatu di dalam doa. Doa akan saya pimpin secara Kristiani, yang lain harap menyesuaikan. Tuhan, terima kasih Engkau telah mengumpulkan kami di sini, Tuhan. Kami akan memulai webinar kami yang kedua. Tuhan berkati para pembicara dan juga para peserta. Tuhan berkati agar webinar ini dapat berjalan dengan semaksimal mungkin. Amin.
We would like to invite all the guests to sing along on our national anthem, Indonesia Raya.
Kami mengundang seluruh tamu undangan untuk menyanyikan lagu kebangsaan Indonesia Raya.
Now, we would like to invite Mrs. Kristen Somers, PhD RNCNE, to give an opening speech.
Kami mengundang Ibu Christine Somers, PhD RNCNE, untuk memberikan kata sambutan.
Selamat pagi, everyone. Dr. Dina, Faculty of Hospitality and Tourism, Dr. Edmund, distinguished panelists and guests, I would like to welcome you to this webinar on hygiene, health, safety, and security preparation and training for hospitality and tourism education in the new normal. Thank you for the opportunity to welcome all of you and to share a few thoughts. This is a very important topic. As a doctorally prepared nurse with over 30 years of experience, the practice of hygiene and health and safety is very important. It is important to each one of us as we face together the challenges that are a result of the prevalence of COVID-19. Everyone needs to develop new habits regarding frequent hand washing, wearing a face covering, and appropriate social or physical distancing. However, the industry of hospitality and tourism has been uniquely impacted by the virus and the resulting pandemic. And I am grateful to the UPH Faculty of Hospitality and Tourism to explore this important topic. Not only what new habits and best practices need to be developed from an industry perspective, but also from an academic perspective. It is vital that we develop graduates of hospitality and tourism that are prepared to meet with excellence these challenges and the unique opportunities that are before us in this important industry. To prepare graduates to do that, we must be creative and flexible in our approach to education. We need an approach that keeps faculty and students safe, that will also prepare graduates to meet established graduate competencies in hospitality and tourism. At UPH, we have developed a multi-flexible learning strategy, or MFLEX, in order to do just that. The MFLEX strategy utilizes our resources, including physical, human, and technology resources, to increase active teaching strategies when interacting with students while maintaining flexibility in the teaching and learning process. MFLEX emphasizes the need for significant learning to occur that appropriately uses technology to provide students with opportunities related to information and ideas, learning experiences, and reflection. This requires that faculty provide both synchronous and asynchronous learning in an online environment, as well as providing, as it is safe to do so, in-person lab and internship learning opportunities. I encourage all of you to actively participate in this webinar and to creatively think and discuss with each other how you can implement new habits that will provide hygiene, health, safety, and security preparation and training in hospitality and tourism education, not only for this next semester and academic year, but for the years to come. Thank you very much for this opportunity to share with you.
Thank you, Mrs. Kristen Somers. Now let us remind everyone about the rules and regulations for today's webinar.
Terima kasih kepada Ibu Christine Somers. Sekarang kami akan menghimbau kembali mengenai tata tertib untuk webinar pada hari ini.
Yang pertama, mohon menuliskan nama lengkap sesuai pendaftaran pada ID Zoom masing-masing.
Yang kedua, peserta akan mendapatkan e-sertifikat apabila mengikuti sesi webinar ini dari awal acara hingga akhir acara, yaitu pukul 8.45 sampai 12.40.
Ketiga, dimohon untuk menonaktifkan mikrofon selama acara berlangsung agar tidak mengganggu pembicara dan peserta lainnya.
Yang keempat, gunakan Google Forms ketika Anda memiliki pertanyaan untuk sesi diskusi tanya-jawab, dengan mengisi link Google Forms yang telah diinformasikan di WhatsApp Group dan di Zoom Chat, yakni dengan maksimal 2 pertanyaan per penanya.
Yang terakhir, dimohon untuk menyalakan semua kamera Anda pada akhir sesi webinar 2020 untuk sesi foto bersama. Berpakaianlah dengan sopan dan rapi saat Anda menghidupkan kamera Anda. Without further ado, let us start our webinar series for today. We would like to invite our moderator, Ibu Dr. Amelda Prameswari, Apar MM.
Nah, tanpa berlama-lama lagi, mari kita mulai webinar series kita yang kedua hari ini. Kepada Ibu Dr. Amelda Prameswari Apar MM, selaku moderator kami persilakan.
Yes, thank you, MCs. Good morning, Mrs. Christine Summers, and as the Academic Vice Rector of UPH, Memdina as the Dean of UPH School of Hospitality and Tourism, Dr. Edmund Goh, our invited keynote speaker from Edith Cowan University, Australia, and honorable speakers, distinguished participants from all over Indonesia, academicians, students, and many more. I see them coming in our waiting room. Well, I would like to greet you all a good morning and welcome to the second webinar series of UPH School of Hospitality and Tourism. Well, as has been said earlier in this introduction about our webinar, the worldwide outbreak of COVID-19 has brought the world to a standstill, and tourism has been the worst affected of all major economic sectors. This pandemic, of course, has changed the world, and things cannot go back the same anymore. The changes that we are facing today applies not only in the industry or in the economic sector, but also in the education sector, not to mention the vocational education sector. We cannot teach and learn like the old days anymore. We need skills and competencies more, because the ones that we have learned yesterday or taught yesterday would not comply the situation that we are facing today. So our topic for today's webinar will discuss about tourism and hospitality education entering the new normal era. What competencies must be added into the courses, the methods of teaching and learning, and many other things that must be paid attention to and emphasized more will be discussed and presented by the respective speakers on today's session. I would like to introduce the first invited keynote speaker, Dr. Edmund Goh. He is now the Deputy Director for Market and Services Research Center in Edith Cowan University, Australia. Dr. Goh has held several senior management positions in higher education, including Acting Dean, Associate Dean, Head of Academic Studies, and Deputy Head of School. He is also elected as the Vice Chair and Director of the Council of Australian Universities in Tourism and Hospitality Education. Dr. Goh has researched extensively in the areas of hospitality workforce issues, such as Generation Z, employee theft, food wastage, job satisfaction, and planned behavior. He has also published more than 70 articles. Wow, excellent, Dr. Edmund Goh. Well, without further ado, let's welcome Dr. Edmund Goh. Time is yours. Dr. Edmund, good morning.
All right. Yes. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Selamat pagi. Yep. Thank you. Thank you for the wonderful introduction by Dr. Amelde. I think you actually put me up too high now. Yeah. So I have to kind of deliver. Yep. And I also like to actually thank Professor Christine Summers for the opening speech. Yep. And of course, I'd like to thank Professor Dina, the Dean, the School of Hospitality and Tourism, for inviting me to share my insights into the future of hospitality education in a post-COVID-19 environment. Yep. And I must say that all of us actually have a huge responsibility in shaping the future of hospitality. So whether you are a student, an instructor, an academic, or practitioner, yep, all of us have this opportunity and responsibility to shape the next future of the industry. Yep. And right at the outset, I'd like to say that this presentation, I really would like to dedicate this presentation to all the hospitality students, academics, and professionals. Why? All right, as Dr. Amalde mentioned, we have to stand strong and navigate through these uncharted waters with courage and determination. And this industry must recover, and we need your support and your input. All right. So in true hospitality spirit, all of us are very passionate about one thing, our customers. So no matter what we do, we are constantly thinking about when can we go back to serve them? When can we go back to provide that interaction and that service? Okay. So I do thank you for your determination, and please, please do not give up, and please don't let that passion fade away. Okay. The outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic was unexpected. Yeah, it happened sometime in December, and by March, pretty much the whole world was in lockdown. Yeah, so speaking from Australia, right, we were in a lockdown in March, all right, all the way up to May. So I actually do understand how you guys are feeling and what are some of the challenges and difficulties that you guys are going through. Okay, but let's not kid ourselves. We are in a crisis, and that's something that we have to acknowledge, and that is something that we have to come to terms with. Yeah. So what exactly is the meaning of crisis? So most of us would actually look at crisis as, yes, we are going through a difficult period of time, and we are going through lots of distress. That's true. That's the definition of crisis. But I'm a very optimistic person, as you can tell. Yep. And I always look for opportunities wherever I go, and I'm very positive. And I actually look at the crisis as an opportunity to make a turning point, all right, to make decisions for a better future. And that's something I think we all need to kind of take in stride as we move along, as in this crisis actually provides us with a fantastic opportunity, all right, to actually do things that we have always wanted to do, and to be creative about where we actually want the future of hospitality to be in the next 10, 20 years. Yep. So I must say that over the last 20 odd years of my career, yep, I've been working in hospitality, in hotels, in education, and I've seen a few different crises and pandemics. Yep. So I'm sure all of you guys will be very familiar with the Asia financial crisis in the late 90s. Yep. At that time, I was working with the Hyatt hotels in banqueting. And during this period, we actually saw a huge decline in events such as weddings, business expos, and so on. And all of a sudden, all right, unemployment went down, people lost their jobs, and guess what? Lots of cancellations of events in this industry. So this actually we saw that, and it recovered after about a couple of years. Yeah. And the next crisis that all of us have come across is September 11, I think in 2001. All right. And this crisis actually put traveling to a stop, whereby I believe for close to 3 months, all right, there were lots of scrutiny and limited travels. So once again, we saw a decline in international tourism. And then there was SARS in 2003. And I'm sure some of you guys have gone through this, or maybe some of you guys not even born. Yeah. But during this SARS period, the main affected areas was Asia and Southeast Asia. All right. And one of the things that we saw in hospitality, there was a decline in travel, yes. And of course, we actually saw there was an increase in personal hygiene, all right, and in policies in F&B establishments. All right, so that crisis actually gave the F&B and hospitality industry an opportunity to actually increase personal hygiene and process and systems. All right, so that was a good opportunity in my opinion. Now, of course, then there was a GFC. My goodness, all right, this happened sometime in 2008 or 2009. Yeah, I was working at the Blue Mountains Hotel School at the time, and one of the huge effects was that we actually saw a huge decline, all right, in student numbers. Yep, overnight, our student numbers dropped by more than 50%. Can you imagine? All right, I know you guys have about 1,200 students at UPH. Imagine halving that overnight. Okay, so that was one of the pandemics. Now, of course, the H1N1 swine flu in 2009. Yep, the Ebola in 2014. Yep, and of course now we are faced with the COVID-19. Yep. So some of you guys might be thinking, then why am I bringing up all this past history of pandemics and crises? Yep. Research has shown that yes, when pandemics and crises do happen, yes, employment suffers, the economy suffers, but there will always be a rebound. So the big question is, are we going to be seeing a V-shaped sharp rebound? Are we going to see a U-shaped long rebound? We don't really know. Okay, but one thing we definitely know for sure was that the COVID-19 situation, all right, was so severe that the number of deaths, all right, in this pandemic was more than all the past pandemics and crises I've just mentioned. All right, so that's the magnitude of this problem that we are facing. All right, some of the past crises and pandemics that we talk about affects it on a country, a regional basis. But COVID-19 is so different, yeah, because it actually affects everyone across the world. Yeah. And just to give you some perspective about what are we looking at, what's the impact of COVID-19 on the hospitality industry? Okay. All right. Across the world, there's about 13 million cases of confirmed cases of COVID-19 across the world. Right. In Australia, there's about 10,000. Okay. Across the world, all right, there's about more than 500,000 number of deaths. Okay, I believe in Indonesia, you guys are affected equally as well. And I think the last time I had a look at the news, it was somewhere about 5,000 cases of deaths. So, all right, it's a serious problem. All right, just to give you some perspective, what's happening in some of the hotel groups. If you look at the large hotel groups like Accor hotels, all right, during the pandemic itself, all right, they actually closed more than 33% of their hotels worldwide. So we're looking about 2,000 plus hotels that were shut down, right, during the pandemic, and some of them are still shut down today. Yep, Marriott Hotel Group, one of the largest hotel groups in the whole world, right? They actually closed about 25% of their hotels worldwide, right? So they make a decision to close 1,000 hotels across the world. Okay. And then hotel occupancies across the world, okay? And I'm sure all of us know the survival to most hotels depends on occupancy numbers. All right, most hotels before the pandemic, all right, would average somewhere about 70% and above in terms of their occupancy. So in today's world, all right, during COVID-19 and post-COVID-19, we are looking at occupancies in hotels of somewhere between 10 to 20%. Okay, so imagine if you were working in a hotel, all right, if you had 100 rooms, all right, you had 90 rooms vacant every night. Okay, and that's not a good sign. Okay, all right. In terms of unemployment, so this is the big thing. In unemployment, all right, across the world, there's somewhere about 100 million hospitality workers unemployed. Yeah, and that's a huge number there. Yep. And in Australia, all right, there's about 180,000 hospitality workers unemployed because of COVID-19. Okay. And the reason for me sharing you with all of this, because one of the things that we always talk about in hospitality education is what are we actually educating our students for? What are we actually developing our students for? For a job. Yep. And I'm not going to kid you guys, right? One of the big things that people are talking about now, students, yep, especially is, why should I study hospitality? And will there be a job waiting for me when I graduate? Okay. And fair enough, that's definitely on everyone's mind. So That's what we're going to look at today. We're going to look at the future of hospitality education. Okay, is there going to be a job ready for you guys? Yep. What is the job going to be looking like? What do we have to do as educators to actually change our curriculum? All right, introduce new systems, new standards, yep, new way of delivery to ensure that hospitality graduates of today and tomorrow are well equipped to face the new world. Okay, and that is something that is very close to my heart because I've been in hospitality for 20 years, and I really want to see this industry to recover. Yep, and I believe education is one of the pinnacles, all right, for this to happen. Okay, so let's have a look at some of the key essentials of hospitality education. Okay, so post COVID-19, yeah, I'm sure all of you guys have done lots of online and Zoom classes. Yeah, some of you guys had enough of Zoom. You just can't wait to go back to the classroom to have a face-to-face interaction with your lecturers. Yeah, like me, likewise. Yep, I just can't wait to actually meet my students in class. Yeah, and I'm meeting them next week. All right, so it's a good thing. All right, but the delivery of classes have changed. All right, and especially in hospitality education, whereby we depend so heavily on the interaction, whether is it the interaction with customers, all right, or the interaction with your lecturers, all right. That's how hospitality education has been delivered over the last 50, 100 years. Yep, and that's the cornerstone of hospitality education. It's all about the interaction. Yep. Online resources and curriculum, everything's online. Your lecturer say, all right, for my subject, you can find everything online. It's all there. Recorded lectures, online materials, online activities. Right? You can do everything on your own. Okay. All right. Restricted classroom numbers. That's something that we are facing. So for example, next week when my class starts, yep, if I have 100 students and above, I have to do it online. Fortunately, I only have about 50 students, so I can do face-to-face with proper social distancing. Okay, and it's very challenging though, all right, in terms of the delivery of classes, especially in hospitality, whereby we depend heavily on practical training though. Yeah, and I'm sure all of us in this room or in Zoom can agree that it is highly challenging to actually teach, all right, and learn practical and applied learning through Zoom. All right. Imagine trying to teach your students how to actually, serve up a dish or cook a dish through Zoom, right? Imagine teaching your students how to actually make a bed, all right, through Zoom. Okay. All right. It's very challenging there. So especially in practical F&B, you can see some of the photos. All right. I'm sure you see not only in practical training, but in the industry, there's increased attention to personal protective equipment. All right, face masks, face shields, wearing of gloves, all right, hand sanitization, personal hygiene, all of these things that we have taken for granted for the last, 20 or so years, all right. In today's world, this is essential though, all right. So this definitely will form part of your training though. Yep, changes in F&B service design, all right. I'll give you a good example. Especially in the Asia culture. I'm from Singapore, by the way. Yep. One of the big things in Asian culture is about buffet service. Yep. The communal type of dining experience. Guess what? Right. This will definitely change. No longer, we'll be teaching our students about, buffet settings and setups and communal dinings and so on. All of this would change, all right, because we actually want to have limited contact between customers and employees. All right, there's going to be increased automation though. All right, so it's not just about being able to use micros to enter your ticket your ticket docket and so on. All right, it's about how can you implement contactless applications in your practical training though. Yeah, so for example, most customers would be pre-booking their dining experience online. All right, and then when they arrive at the restaurant, all right, they don't want to talk to you. all right? Go and sit down, get ushered to the table, all right, get served, all right, have their meals, and they pay online and they go. All right. So there's going to be very limited contact though. Okay. There'll be shorter dining time. All right. So think about this, the long lunches, okay, that we all love. I love my long lunches. Okay. All right. That's going to be a thing of the past. Yeah. People would be wanting to have their meal times, all right, quickly, fast in, fast out. Yeah, they want to go in, have their meals as soon as possible, and they're going to get out of the restaurant. Okay, to avoid crowded restaurants. So in the past, when we actually promote a restaurant, when you look at a restaurant and say, wow, it's packed, there's a long queue. Okay, this restaurant has to be good. Okay, everyone wants to go there. But in today's world, all right, when we see a restaurant that is packed and crowded and with long queue, I definitely would avoid the restaurant. Okay, all right, so definitely that would change. All right, and that's going and we must actually train our students to actually rethink the business models of F&B establishments. Okay, perhaps, all right, we need to teach them about how do we go about moving down the path of takeaway business. Okay, we don't really need such a large shop front anymore. Okay, in fact, during the pandemic, research have shown that the takeaway business was actually so popular, all right, that it actually made up majority of the profit percentage. Okay, so that's something that we need to kind of think about in terms of our training. When you think about your front office, that all of us will actually aspire to work in front office. Okay, things would change. Yeah, no longer you're going to meet and greet your customers, go through the guest cycle, taking your time to go through the guest cycle, all right? Less contact with customers. Customers don't want to talk to you. Okay, they just want to go to their room, lock themselves in, all right, and check out on their own. Okay, so the big question that we have to ask ourselves is how can we actually provide customer service experience in a non-traditional setting? How do we perform temperature checks and enforce mask requirements without offending your customers? Yeah. How do we deal with a very different customer base? You used to deal with leisure travelers, business travelers. Today, you are dealing with self-isolating customers. You're dealing with quarantine customers. You're dealing with homelessness customers. Okay. Limited numbers of people allowed in elevators. Okay. And you will notice that in most front office or hotels, all right, there'll be a strip down of the hotel furniture, all right, to actually avoid crowd gathering and social gathering. Okay. The big question is, as a future front office manager, how are you going to manage your hotel, all right, at a 10 to 20% occupancy financially? How are you going to do that? So one of the things you have to think about is you need to actually be able to channel and identify alternative revenue streams. So these are things that we need to actually teach our students in future. Okay, what happens if one of your hotel guests tests positive for COVID-19? How do you manage that crisis? Okay, all right, so these are things that we have not really thought about that we should be thinking. Housekeeping, this is a big thing. Okay, and I must say that housekeeping has become so important in today's world that it's one of the most important departments in a hotel now, right? When we think of housekeeping in the past, don't really want to go there. Not a good image. But in today's world, if you work in housekeeping, it's quite prestigious though. You are regarded as a very important department of the hotel, okay? So that's something to think about, all right? Extra disinfection, all right, of the frequently touched rooms, all right? Decluttering of amenities, okay, all right? Increased frequency of public area cleaning, all right? Lots of cleaning technology. Example, you can see in that picture, electrostatic sprayers, using ultraviolet lights to check for germs, just like CSI, okay? All right? Longer room cleaning time, that's something to think about, okay? Stronger cleaning chemicals. Some hotels, such as Marriott, all right, have introduced hospital-grade disinfectant. Okay, and you'll be looking at this in future, whereby some of the hotels have actually positioned the hotel based on cleanliness. So you look at hotels such as IHG, right, Intercontinental, right. One of their positioning now is that stay with us, and we promise you that we are clean promised. Okay, Hilton, all right, their positioning talks about clean stay. Okay, the core hotels, all right, they have this new label called the All Safe Cleanliness and Safety label. All right, so it's quite interesting how, as I mentioned, a pandemic gives us an opportunity to actually reinvent and reposition ourselves. So hotels around the world now, they are repositioning themselves. Yes, we are 5-star. Okay, let's not go there. But now in today's world, we are the cleanest, safest hotel there. All right, and that's where the market has kind of repositioned themselves. Okay, field trips. All right, forget about your field trips though. Okay, you're not going to visit the hotel anytime soon. Okay, we are moving towards virtual field trips. Okay, virtual guest lectures. Okay, like what we are doing today though. Okay, work placement. This is a big thing. Okay, one of the big draw cards for studying hospitality is you actually get to work in a hotel as part of your internship. Okay, and as you can see on the screen, one of the big things that we've been thinking about is, yes, is it safe to actually place our students in a hotel in today's environment? Yeah, as you can see, there are some news articles that reported that some hotels have actually infected their hotel workers, right, of the virus. Okay, so these are things that we need to consider, right? Do we have to perform internship in a different manner? Maybe it's no longer face-to-face. Maybe it's the back of house, more of the back of house type of internship as compared to the customer-facing type of internships. Yeah? Less operational, more strategic. Okay, so that's something for us to think about. Okay, what do we want? The big question, and I'm going to go through this quickly because I want to touch on the eight trends facing us in hospitality. So in Australia, all right, the Australia Industry and Skills Committee is a government organization. Before the COVID-19 happened, this was what they projected, okay? And they projected this is what we need in 2019 and beyond. This is the sort of hospitality students, the graduates that we want. All right, good communication skill, problem solving, okay? And we actually wanted to have some form of leadership, managerial skills, okay? This was the employment level projection, as you can see, all right? It's an upward trajectory there, okay? And then COVID-19 happened here, okay? So you can see that before COVID-19 happened, all right, in Austria, there were close to about 1 million employees working in the hospitality industry, okay? So the big question is, what is going to happen here, okay? I don't have the answers for this, but I think you will see a sharp drop there, okay? In terms of jobs, okay, what was one of the most sought after jobs? Waiters in F&B, all right? And as you can see, the government projected, all right, over the next sort of 5 years, all right, there's going to be an increase in the number of cafe workers, more cafes, more coffee shops, okay? But I can assure you this will change, right? Housekeepers, look at this, my goodness. The number of housekeepers, all right, projected, okay? And this was before COVID-19, okay? So one can only imagine, all right, the housekeeping industry would actually, I would see a sharp growth. In fact, I think housekeeping would be one of the major increase in terms of number of employees sought after them, all right? So if you are actually studying hospitality, it's actually a good opportunity to shift your paradigm, yeah, and your career focus and say maybe there is a good opportunity in housekeeping then. Okay, all right. I know we don't like to clean rooms, okay, but I'm talking about managerial levels. Okay, all right. Okay, so the big question here that we on all of our minds is the impact of COVID-19 on hospital education. Okay, and I have 4 big questions for everyone to think about, and I'll share with you my predictions. Okay, so number 1, the big question is, will there still be demand for hospitality and tourism education? Yep, I think the demand will go down, will drop slightly, but will pick up over the next 24 to 24 months or so. But in the meantime, interim, right, the next couple of months, the next 6 months or so, you definitely see a decline there. Number 2, how institutions will need to adjust their curriculum. Okay, and it's not just so simple as, oh, we can just go online. Okay, it's not as simple as that. Number 3, will there be jobs for hospitality and tourism graduates? Okay, as I mentioned, I think there will be jobs, okay, but there will be different types of jobs that we need to prepare our graduates for them. Okay, number 4, what are the challenges facing teachers and students? Okay, so it's not just going online, it's not just working in hospitality. Yeah, how are we going to manage the expectation of students? How are we going to manage the expectation of an industry? Yeah, industry don't expect our students to graduate, come in and work across the different departments anymore. They actually want the students to be able to be agile, all right, be able to actually handle a crisis. Okay, that's what they're looking for. All right, so these are my 8 trends and key changes that I actually see is happening. All right, and this is how I see the future of hospitality education going down. Number 1, big trend. Okay, is that it's all about we are in this together. Okay, you've seen lots of this hashtag. I'm not trying to be cliche here, but we are in this together is something that we need to stick together. Yeah, we need to work together with government. We need to work together with industry to know what they want, how government's going to support us, what students want. Okay, and collectively, all right, we design something and prepare students for the future. Right? So it's all about standing in solidarity. Okay, some good examples that we can I use. But the Blue Mountains Hotel School, when the pandemic happened, right? The first thing, in fact, they were they were the first institution in Australia. They said, "Wow, this is terrible. All right, we need to do something there. Okay, we are going to offer free courses." And they actually open up 100% of their short courses for free. And that's a huge dip in their revenue there, okay? But to them, all right, it's all about, yes, the hospitality industry has helped us for the last 25 years or so, right? Now it's time to give back, okay? Okay, yes, surely there's a bit of promotion behind that, I must agree, okay? But, all right, they actually offered free courses though. The government sector, TAFE, all right, offered free courses to upscale, upgrade during COVID-19. Okay, so that's something we need to think about. Yep, how are we giving back? How are we showing the industry or the people that we actually care about the industry and stakeholders? Right. Number 2, very important. The future of hospitality industry and education is all about upskilling and formal qualifications. Okay, we were quite surprised, I must say that, right? Even in Australia, ECU, during the COVID-19, there was an increase in enrollments in postgraduate studies. It decreased in undergrad, but increased in postgrad. And this only shows one thing, that in hospitality, for the last 20 years or so, lots of us have always have this perception that we don't need qualifications to work in hospitality, but things have changed. All right, we actually see that, wow, we actually need to formalize our experience with a qualification. All right, so you will see lots of short courses, wanting employees or those who were made redundant and retrenched, all right, to make use of this downtime to actually upskill themselves. Okay, and some companies are even paying and sponsoring them to do it. Okay, so that's something to think about. All right, if you're working in industry, This is a downtime, a quiet time. Maybe think about upscaling yourself. So when the industry picks up, economy picks up, wow, you are ready to enter, all right, loud bang, else and research, you're ready, okay? Number 3, all right, the future of hospitality education will be, I guess, led by institutions who are prepared to actually tailor make short courses and have micro credentials. All right. The front office manager, the F&B manager is not going to sign up with a program, all right, for 3 years to get a degree. They want something that is customized, tailor-made, all right? Do it at their own pace, okay? Not over 3 years, but maybe over 12 months. Okay, so we need to think about what can we do to actually provide short courses, all right? Short leadership courses, right? Short courses in housekeeping, short courses in crisis management. So these are things that are more current, all right? More contemporary that the industry wants to, okay? Number 4, and this is where most education institutions will be affected, right? There's going to be an increase in blended, hybrid, and online delivery. Whether we like it or not, yeah, online and blended learning is here to stay, all right? Because we have seen how important and how dependent, all right, students and institutions were, all right, when the pandemic happened. And the first thing we look at is, oh, how can we deliver this online? Do we have Zoom? Do we have Collaborate? Oh, we don't have. All right, how much does it cost? All right. Interestingly, all right, the Zoom company, all right, they actually made a profit of $170 million during the pandemic. All right. So this is the demand that was demanded, okay, during the pandemic. Zoom. Everyone was Zooming. Okay. But I have to emphasize it's not just about simply Zooming. The institutions must invest in more teaching technology, hardware and software. Okay, I'm sure you guys can attest to this. Having all the fantastic functions of Zoom and online and so on is good. But if your internet speed is too slow, it defeats the purpose. Okay, so it's a mixture of both hardware and software. Okay, we need to be able to manage the students' expectation of online materials. Okay, it's not just simply dumping all the materials online, but how do we engage students online? Yeah, how do we ensure that what they are going through online is equivalent, if not better, than what they're getting in the classroom through engagement? Yep. Is it just about going through some activities? Is it about having smaller chat rooms to actually go through some of the content with them? Is it about having more frequency of content, frequency of the delivery? Okay. All right. Digital footprint and presence in this post COVID-19, you have to make yourself available online. Whether you are on social media, you have a website, you have to make sure you have a voice online because no one is going to be too concerned about your physical spaces anymore. People, the first thing they do is, oh, let's look at UPH online. What are they about? Okay, and if you don't have anything good to say online, you're out of the game. Okay, there's going to be an increase in more individual type of assessment based. All right, so team-based group assessments would be minimized, obviously because of social distancing and the restrictions. Okay, all right. So perhaps we'll be moving down more of a performance competency type of assessments. Can you actually do all of this on your own? Okay, all right. Next, number 5 is there's going to be a shift in the curriculum. So it's not just about how we deliver, but it's about what are we going to be teaching our students. Okay, there's going to be an increased emphasis in crisis management. And I can attest to this. When I first studied hospitality 20 years ago, crisis management, who cares? No one cared about it. It was just one small chapter, all right, in the textbook. Okay, but today, all right, most universities actually teach crisis management as a subject. Okay, how to handle pandemics, recession, terrorist attacks, and so on. Okay, there's going to be a greater emphasis on essential soft skills. So it's not just about how well you are able to, go through the gas cycle or how well you're able to use Opera or Micros. Okay, but how well can you manage your emotional intelligence, your mental well-being, resilience? All of these are soft skills that we actually need in the future. Okay, if COVID-19 were to happen again on a larger scale, wow, can you manage it? Okay, more simulation, software-based curriculum. Yep, operation design management, very important. Okay, so it's not just going through the process now though. This is how you clean the room. This is how you make a bed. This is how you serve a customer. Okay, but it's going to be more about, all right, let's think about how can we better design service delivery. Okay, how can we better think about alternative ways to service our customers, okay, beyond the traditional methods. Okay, there is definitely going to be a greater emphasis on the local domestic economy. Why? Because for the last 20 years, we have our curriculum have been focused too much on globalization. All right, we are always very concerned about, oh, we need to understand culture. All right, Chinese culture. All right, lots of customers coming from China. Okay, but guess what? During the pandemic, when there's a lockdown, right, countries depended entirely on their local domestic tourists. So it's about time we get back to our roots and say, do we really understand our local customers? Do we understand Indonesian customers? Right? And perhaps there are lots of gaps within our domestic economy that we can actually tap into them. Okay. One of the big things that we have to look at is automation and the contactless customer service experience. Okay. You need to be prepared to teach your students that if you work in a hotel, maybe you will not get to speak to a customer. Okay. Yeah, you must be able to use robots, service automation, all right, to actually provide that high level of service experience, okay, which is challenging, I must say. Okay. All right. Number 6, career planning. Okay. This is the big thing that we have to do. Let's not kid ourselves. Let's prepare our students for the truth. That's what's going to happen there. Okay. The career that we are going to be planning them for has to be something flexible. All right. We must not be training students to be working in hotels for the next 50 years. Right? We must be training students to have transferable skills, to be mobile, to be agile, to move beyond the hospitality sectors. Okay, we don't want to see what's happening today. All right, 180,000 employees in hospitality in Australia get made redundant, can't find a job. Yeah, because of the lack of transferable skills. Okay, there's going to be an increased competition in hospitality jobs. Okay, all right, less job security. Okay, there'll be lots of contracts given, not permanent contracts. Yeah, there'll be lots of block contracts, project-based type of employment. Okay, and we must be prepared to work in a more stoic environment. Right, social distancing, cleaner, more hygiene-oriented sort of hospitality environment. Okay. Number 7, the shift in student attitudes and behavior. Okay, and this is where the mentality and attitudes of students. And students, if you're listening to this, all right, pay attention then. Okay, restricted travels are here to stay. Okay, so don't expect to find a hospitality job whereby you can travel the world and work around the world. Okay, that's the thing of the past. Okay, there's a very high chance that find a job in your local country, local region, and you'll be working there for a long time. Maybe occasionally you get to travel, but gone are the days whereby, 2 years in Indonesia, 2 years in Australia, 3 years in America. No. All right. Okay. There's going to be more technology. You need to embrace technology. If you are a dinosaur like myself who hate technology, right, you need to change. Right, you need to embrace technology. Then. All right. Less face-to-face, more technology involvement. Then. Okay. All right. And of course, you must be prepared. All right. For uncertain career outlook in hospitality. All right. Number 8, And this is the last one I have. It's about the shift, all right? And this is for the institutions. The education institutions must be agile, all right? During pandemic and crisis, if you're not agile, you're stagnant, you're not moving, you're dead. Okay, you must be able to be flexible and reinvent yourself. Okay, adopting, invest in teaching technology. Okay, all right. There are some institutions that were unable to change during the lockdown and pandemic. And what happened? They shut down the school and they're out of business because students will go elsewhere. And students will not wait for you to open your schools in 3 months. They'll go elsewhere. Okay. Big thing that we have to think about from a business perspective is what is your new business model? Okay, for example, I think today at UPH you mentioned that only 50% of occupancy is allowed on campus. So think about this: your capacity, or from 100% has shrunk to 50% occupancy, but you're still paying the same operating cost. Okay, so less students, less student ratio per floor space, increased cost, the cost in enforcing hygiene and so on. How are you going to make this work then? Okay, so that's the thing. Your business model must work. If your floor space is too big, cut it down. All right, list out some of your premises. Okay, maintaining and attracting student enrollments is going to be a big challenge for all institutions. What is your strategy then? Okay, you're dependent on your international markets, that will go down. Okay, you have to actually think of ways to increase your domestic market through students, all right, through traditional students, all right, through industry, short courses. Okay, all right, and of course, very important is your crisis planning. Have you got a plan B? Okay, that's something that you have to ask. Have you got a plan B? Okay, all right, so those are my 8 trends about what's going to happen. Okay, so I'm going to kind of finish off in closing. There's a couple of things I really want to kind of touch on. Okay, so in closing, number 1, the pandemic has affected hospitality industry and education. Okay, from an education perspective, all right, it allows us to be agile and to review what we have currently been doing to greater heights. Okay, we must transform our face-to-face delivery beyond the classroom. That's something that we have to move away. All right, especially in hospitality. I know it's tough, okay, because it has been the business model for the last 50 years, but we have to move beyond the face-to-face delivery. Okay, the digital element is going to be the driving force of change, and we have to embrace it, whether we like it or not. We have to be able to provide a virtual service experience for our students and customers. Okay, we need to be authentic. We need to be innovative. We need to be creative. All right, we need to be clean. Okay, so these are all going to be very important key competitive attributes that will shape the industry and institutions. All right, we must be able to customize and individualize and be flexible on our approach. Yep. So we have this unique opportunity now in today to ask ourselves whether the current hospitality education business model is suitable for future travel needs, increased safety measures, and changing customer needs. All right. And in this time, we need you as students, in industry, lecturers, academics, all right, to work together, all right, to actually face the new norm. So are you ready for the new normal though? All right, thank you. Okay, thank you.
Wow, thank you, Dr. Edmund. Very insightful, comprehensive sharing that you have delivered to us. I'm sure everybody is awakened with the homework that we have to do now. Since we are in this together and you have emphasized us with the 8 key changes that we must think about in order to survive the pandemic and think about what's next in our future hospitality and tourism education. Thank you so much, Dr. Edmund Go. We are still open for question and answer. How many minutes do I have? How many minutes do I have, Mr. Kevin or Sulistiani? Lavis? Okay, we still have time, okay? Yes, we don't want to miss Dr. Edmund's session, all right? So can you please share the screen for questions? Oh, this is the first question from Young Sue or Sue from Curtin University. Hello there, Young Sue. Hi, Sue. So your question is about the hospitality industry is booming. The demand for highly qualified specialists is increasing. In the corona crisis, now putting an abrupt end to this trend, will low margin tourism definitely become a case for redevelopment? Well, Dr. Go, are you here with me?
Yes, I am. Yes. So
Yes.
thanks, Sue. Yep. So I actually know Sue. She's from Curtin Uni. Yep.
Oh, you know
Yep.
her.
So yeah. Yes. So thanks. It's a good question, to be honest. I must say that the demand for highly qualified specialists is a tricky one. Yes, there will definitely be a demand. Yep. But in terms of, I guess, your question about the low margin tourism is going to be a good, interesting area of thoughts. Why? Because one, the post-COVID-19 situation is all about recovery. Yep. So on the books of most hospitality and tourism companies, it's all about cash flow. Yep. What can we do to stay alive? Yep. To stay afloat. Okay. So whether it's a low margin type of tourism or high margin type of tourism, yep. I guess it doesn't really matter. Yep. What we really want to see is some form of tourism. Okay. I think especially in Australia, whereby the different states have closed their borders and so on. So the dependency, as I mentioned earlier on, is going to be highly geared towards the domestic market. Yeah. So the big question now with the domestic market is, all right, instead of spending the money on tourism overseas, on international travel that we normally do, okay, how prepared are we to spend this money locally then? Okay, are there destinations that we would be willing to spend the equivalent amount that we used to spend overseas in domestic? So I think there's something you need to think about. As I mentioned earlier on, we really need to focus and ask ourselves is, what is so attractive for the domestic market, right? Imagine you have lived in Jakarta for all your life, okay? What else can you see in Jakarta that would interest you? There must be something unique, okay? Likewise, would you travel across Indonesia, right, to maybe a different state for tourism, to visit different tourist destinations? So I think that's the question, and how much are we willing to spend? So I think to answer this question is, will low margin tourism be a case for redevelopment? I think so. Yep. I think tourism stakeholders have to really think about, what has worked for them in the past. Is it going to work for them in the future? And number two, what has not worked for them in the past? All right, what must they do to repackage and redesign themselves, right, to attract the local domestic tourists? Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Edmund. Sue, I hope it answers the questions. Thank you for joining us today, Sue from Curtin University. So we have lots of participants, Dr. Edmund Go. We can see here from our participants from all over Indonesia, from Bali, from Mataram, and many other places, Yogyakarta. Yeah, we are so grateful to welcome them today here in our webinar. Can I please have, yes, Dr. Edmund, can I please have the second questions? I was informed by the committee that we still have 14 minutes time. So I believe there's still 10 more minutes for you to be able to answer all the questions. So the question number 2 is from Andre Toti. He is from Universitas Pelita Harapan, from our institution. So the question is about building hospitality attitude and behavior is important in hospitality education. Do you have any specific strategy on how to build this soft skill if we have to go mostly online? Well, that's a student's question. Yes, Dr. Go, time is yours.
Yeah, that's a very good question,
Yes.
Andre. Look, I mean, the whole idea of soft skills has always been, I guess, emphasized in hospitality education. Even before COVID-19, there's always about how do you manage your emotions. We talk about emotional labor in hospitality. That's a big thing. You don't want to suffer burnout. Yep. But I think moving online, how to develop soft skills is really a tricky one. But I mean, what I normally do in my students is that I actually build these soft skills by exposing them, all right, to all these situations. Yep. So we look at case studies of past pandemics. Yep. And ask them, what would you do in this situation? Yep. And so, for example, I'm going to bring my students to one of the hotels this coming semester that has been affected by COVID-19. Yep. And we are going to be asking them to actually brainstorm and think about some strategies, all right, as to how would you manage all of this if it were to happen. So to answer your question, I think soft skills can be developed through case studies. Yep, it can be developed through role play. So I do that online with students. I say, all right, so tell me about what would you do in this situation, all right? Yeah, and I actually build their soft skills by also talking to them about the reality. Yep. So I say, okay, what do you expect to face working in hospital? So you tell me some of the problems, all right, difficult customers, and so on. I said, okay, so let's think about some strategies. What can we do to actually ensure that we are mentally strong? Yeah. So I always tell them this joke about, before coming to class, I have lots of problems at home. And when I see them in class, yep, I'm a different person. Yep, that will definitely take away some of my emotional sanity, but it's how you manage that. So I always tell them, when you're 9 to 5 or when you are working a shift work and so on, right, you are a different person. Right? You have a different persona. You're an actor, okay, and that's something that you have to be prepared for. And I'm always upfront with them saying that if you're not prepared for all of this, then don't work in hospitality. Change your industry, because this is the industry. Yep. So hopefully I answered your question. I think it's more about case studies and brainstorming strategies together to actually manage that soft skills and emotional sanity. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Edmund Goh. Okay, Andre. So I hope the answer from Dr. Edmund Goh can give you an insight of how to shape your soft skills more, yeah, especially in the hospitality and tourism industry as students and also future practitioners. All right. Another questions? Another question, please. All right. Dr. Goh, we have a question from Yogyakarta. From Fabiola Nimas Ayu Sukeswari, yeah, from Novotel Suites, Yogyakarta, Malioboro. You've been to Jogja before, right, Dr. Edmund?
Yes. I stayed at the hotel beside your uni. What was it?
Oh, the one beside the uni?
Yes.
Oh, okay, great. So the question is about, I work in hotels HR department, and we felt the pressure to keep the spirit of the staffs, daily workers and interns in my hotel. During this pandemic, it is nearly impossible for us to give them full remuneration for them. We would you give us tips on how do we should manage and support them, since hotels' financial expenses are always there while the income doesn't enough for staff? Okay.
Wow, this is a very good question, and it's a very touchy question. Yeah. So to give you some perspective, there was most hotels, what they have done during the pandemic was the first thing they did was, okay, let's cut down the workforce. Okay. And most hotels have cut down about 90% of the workforce, and they run on a skeleton model. So I believe Novotel is similar because you're under a core. So one thing that I would strongly suggest is all about being there for your employee. You have to explain to them that this is beyond the control of the organization. Okay, so this is beyond control, external factors. Okay, and you have to explain to them that this is what is happening across Indonesia, across the world. It's not just we don't like you. Okay, so you just have to explain to them. I think of course, money is important, for survival in this sort of situation. But I think in terms of support, it's also about that mental support, that morale support. Yeah. Sure, you may not be able to provide them with enough remuneration. Okay, but perhaps there are some essential support that you can provide. Maybe, for example, some hotels provided free lodging for their employees during lockdown because, hey, occupancy is 10% anyway. You have 90% of the rooms empty, so why not make use of it? That's number one. Number two, some hotels actually open up their food and beverage department, their kitchen, all right, and provided free meals for employees and the community. Okay, so I think these are two very essential things because when you're out of a job, the first thing comes to mind is, do I have enough food to eat? Do I have a place to stay? Okay, that's very important. I think the third point is about maintaining regular communication with them, updates about what's happening. Okay, small positives. All right, okay, situation is getting a bit better. All right, this week we are able to re-employ 10% of the workforce. Okay, 2 months down the road, we are able to re-employ another 10% back of the workforce. So we need to kind of show them that we are trying. That's very important. Okay, and we have to actually provide them with some support in terms of, all right, we don't have a job here. Okay, what are some of the possible vacancies available within a core hotel group, for example? If not, okay, where can they get support from government, from local communities? Okay, and perhaps there could be a joint partnership with UPH, for example, all right, to actually offer them some form of discounts for short courses to study and so on. So it's all about keeping them engaged. Yep. And different employees have different level of engagement. Some people are really engaged based on financial. Some are very much engaged based on intellectual stimulation. So it really depends. Yeah, but I would say that that's my best advice. There's no one silver bullet for everyone, but it's about understanding the needs of certain employees. And I'm pretty sure financial accommodation, food and beverage is something important for most. And if you can provide, do provide them.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Edmund Goh. Well, apparently the time is up for your session. Thank you so much for answering all of these questions. I'm pretty sure that everybody here is very happy and very awakened with your insights that you have provide us today, Dr. Edmund. Okay, for our next session will be a certificate of appreciation presentation. So we would like to present you with our appreciation, which will be delivered by Ma'am Dina as our Dean. To Ma'am Dina.
Well, Dr. Edmund Goh, yeah, it is really an enlightening and awakening presentation that all of us here that attend this seminar, and also all of the stakeholders of hospitality and tourism, not only in Indonesia, but also the world, need really to think, sit together, going hand in hand, and helping each other for the future of our industry. So your thoughts that has been shared this morning is very priceless, and we really thank you for you to willing to share this with us. So allow us to present this certificate of appreciation. So I hope we can work together and have more close relationships in the go receive this certificate. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you for having me, Dina. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Dina, and also Dr. Edmund Go. Everyone, let's give a big applause for Dr. Edmund Go. This is the beauty of technology, Dr. Edmund Go. We get classes virtually.
Yeah, that was like a very a stereotype of clap, you know?
Yes, that's right. Echoing as well. All right, thank you, Dr. Edmund. Well, we shall proceed to our next speakers. Our next speaker is all of these speakers after Dr. Edmund's presentation is our lecturer in UPH School of Hospitality and Tourism. Our next speaker, second speaker, will be Pak Jimmy Situmorang, BSc MBA. Pak Jimmy now is our Deputy Department Chair of Hospitality Management Program in Pelita Harapan University. And he has so many various experience, also as a practitioner before in Mercure Jakarta Simatupang as the food and beverage manager. And also he's been here 20 years in the hospitality experience in education and also in industry. And he has an advanced teaching in food and beverage management, hotel management, food and beverage theory and practicum, as well as cost control and hygiene sanitation. But Jimmy today here is going to share his topic about food and beverage. Ladies and gentlemen, or dear participants, let us give an applause for Pak Jimmy. Yeah, another applause, please, virtually. And let's see. Pak Jimmy, time is yours. Oh, your mic is still muted. Please unmute.
Thank you very much, Dr. Amelda Prameswari. Good morning, our honorable speaker, Dr. M. Goh, Dean of School of Hospitality and Tourism, Dr. Diana M. Lemi, esteemed colleagues, students, ladies and gentlemen, selamat pagi. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera bagi kita semua. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, salam kebajikan. It is an honor for me to be here among some of the most important people in hospitality and tourism, and willing to take the time to be in this webinar arranged by School of Hospitality and Tourism, Universitas Pelita Harapan. I'm looking forward to sharing some key ideas with all of you. I hope it's inspiring. Today, I would like to do a presentation called The New Normal of Safety, Hygiene, and Sanitation in Food Service. As stated and mentioned before by Dr. Edmund Goh, for the last 5 months, the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic has impacted the health, social life, and economy around the world. So I don't have to share some of the data that has been shared by Dr. M. Goh. When I started my career in hospitality industry 20 years ago, I never would have thought that the things that I've learned and experienced would have shifted and changed because of this outbreak. Now we are entering the post-COVID-19 phase. the new normal. With all those impacts that have been mentioned, the food service practicum must adjust and have new objectives in the new normal. Firstly, we need to train and organize the new protocols and food service in order to build a safety, hygiene, and healthy environment post-COVID-19. This also includes obtain knowledge in preparing equipment and tools, such as chinaware, glassware, cutleries, in the new normal phase. Another objective is acquiring a new skills in preparing mise en place, restaurant setups, service sequence that in line with the new protocols. Lastly, prepare students who have a standard compatibility that met with the industry requirements for the on-the-job training program in the new normal. Next, these are all the F&B lecturers. We have 4 food and beverage lecturers, 1 assistant lecturer, as well as 1 laboratory assistant. To have a new standard protocol in the normal, we spend a little, not a little time, we spend quite time consuming in order to achieve the new protocols. First, we have to align all the new normal standards that we have received, whether it's from WHO, Ministry of Health, Religion, Tourism and Creative Economy, Trade, Education and Culture, Pari, as well as PHRI, and some of the franchise hotels that already introduced the new normal approach. After that, we adopted and simplified all uniformity and created the new normal standard for our F&B practicum class. After we adopted, we designed it and arranged it so it would fit the practicum classes like F&B service, kitchen, pastry, housekeeping, and front office. After we made some design, we proposed and asked approval from the faculty. And after that, we promoted the new normal after we coordinated first with the UPH COVID-19 task force. Later on the next slide, after we promoted to the students, some of the new changes in the new normal must be applied. As you can see on the left side, those are the normal standard grooming that we, or even some of the schools have presented. Now in the additional new normal, the face mask, face shield, hand gloves, personal hand sanitizer, personal straw, and all the belongings needed to be put onto the students. Even our service sequence, to avoid physical contact, we need to make some adjustment, such as social distancing within 2 meters, no physical contact, no adjusting cutleries, touchless and paperless reservation and payment inside the class, the use of a trolley to deliver food and beverage, and the guests pick and clear their cutleries and chinaware by themselves. So to sum up, to perform a new normal post-COVID-19, our F&B practicum team have made some new adjustment. We have to train the normal protocols to the students, safety, hygiene, and health preparation prior food service practicum class, emphasize on hygiene and sanitation, as well as preparing the record in all activities based on checklist. So the preparation, we have prepared some of the things needed prior to start of the practicum class, such as we already prepared tutorial videos and posted in our online learning platform in order for students to learn it from home. We also already prepared as standard operating procedures for entering and leaving practicum class, standard procedure for cleaning equipment, as well as the service sequences. We already prepared protocols logbooks, and checklists for all the activities inside the practicum classes. We also managed to cut down the seating capacity as well, the restaurant layout by 50%. In order for all this to be successful, we need students' involvement and commitment to comply to all the rules and the regulations that the school have already made. If the school starts or the practicum class starts, we already created 2-shift program with limited practicum class time in one day in order to accommodate all students to experience the practicum class. So these are the new normals in F&B practicum classes, things that we need to do. First one, we need to emphasize on security and health checkpoints. No ID, no entry, and we have to have a standard temperature. Before going to the class, the student must do their own personal hygiene by washing their hands using sanitizer and all the needed equipment. Inside the F&B practicum class, students must use the standard uniform, keep a social distance of 2 meters, no physical contact whatsoever, wash their hands every 20 minutes, and always use their personal belongings. For instance, stainless steel straw, cutleries, etc. Inside the dining room, they have their certain procedures. For example, the restaurant can only be fitted for 50% of the maximum capacity. The new normal service sequence already been applied, and we use a trolley in order to serve food and beverage to avoid physical contact. During the practicum classes, there are important things to know. We need to have always one door to open to maintain a good air condition and circulation. The students must wash their hands every 20 to 30 minutes, no physical contact, and put all the activities inside the logbook to maintain the safety, hygiene, and sanitation. Lastly, the disinfectant time. Our assistant laboratory will do a disinfectant on the surface and objectives before and after the class, whereas the students will do it during their practicum classes. So if you see this slide, these are the new service sequence in the new normal. If you see all those X's, those are the things that we usually do, but now we change it and make a new normal approach. For example, we don't do any unfolding the napkin anymore. We think that we do not have to serve the bread as well as taking order because if everything is touchless, even until the payment, then we will use the students' cell phone in order to build the menu as well as giving the orders. So we have 32 steps. So most 80% of them have been changed. And during the presenting the bill, the guests would go to the greeter's desk and they would do a payment with a QR code payment. And then the student or the guest would bid farewell. That's the last PowerPoint that I give it to you. Thank you very much. Now my great assistant lecturer, Deandra Pakasi, would give you a hint of what was designed for the new normal in food service. Deandra, your time.
To give real service, you must add something that cannot be bought with money, and that is sincerity and integrity. Following the new rules and standards from the government, PHRI, and Pari, this is how we do the new normal food service at UPH School of Hospitality and Tourism.
Each students have to use mask, face shield, and hand gloves
before entering the practicum class. This is the new standard of grooming. Every student needs to go through security and temperature check before entering the practicum class. For our mise en place, we apply 3 steps of polishing, and sanitized cutleries are stored differently. We only prepared and sanitized plate according to the adjusted capacity of our restaurant. Every student has to wash their hand properly and apply hand sanitizer to remove germs and prevent infection. We also make sure to have a good air circulation in our classroom, and we provide the hand sanitizer. We'll apply physical distance of 2 meters to keep a safe space between students. Food is being served with a trolley to avoid direct physical contact. Thank you for watching.
Wow, thank you, Pak Jimmy, and thank you, Deandra, for the presentation. Because time is running very tightly, I will straight away continue first with the next speakers. The next speaker will be Bapak Vasco. Pak Vasco Gultom Fpar MM is our food and beverage lecturer, the F&B team lecturer, and now he is pursuing the doctoral degree in research management, magister degree in. He is pursuing the doctoral degree in UPH at the management faculty of management. And also he has 15 years of experience in hospitality and tourism teaching, and expert in teaching F&B service and F&B management. His specializing work is in and research is in the area of hotel and also restaurant. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Bapak Vasco.
Thank you. Okay, the Honorable Mrs. Christine Sommer as Vice President, Pelita Harapan University. Mrs. Dr. Diana Lemi as Dean of School of Hospitality and Tourism, Pelita Harapan University. Keynote speaker, Mr. Dr. Edmund, and all participants. What an honor for me to be here, and let me introduce myself. My name is Vasco Gultom. Without lingering longer, I will soon start to talk about the presentation that I'm going to deliver in this webinar. The topic is about carry out presentation action in bar class. Okay. There are three important things that we must do in order maintaining cleanliness. The first one is cleaning. Cleaning is removing physical dirt, debris, soil, and etc. And the second one is sanitizing. Sanitizing is reducing, not killing, the incurious and grow of bacteria. And the third one is disinfecting. And disinfecting is a killing of completely destroying microscopic organism and pathogen on surface. Next. In advice that never gets old and yet still probably isn't followed enough, WHO has specific washing hands as one of the most important tactics for avoiding the spread of disease. Your hands are constantly moving microorganisms around from one thing to another. This is the step for the washing hand. Yeah. Washing hand with running water, including your wrist, for at least 20 seconds, and dry them well with a clean, dry towel, preferably a paper towel, says according to WHO. Next. Before class, what we should do, we always check the grooming or personal hygiene from the student. Personal hygiene is essential. Our school enforce very stringent hygiene policy with routine check of hand, grooming, hair, and overall appearance before class. A few things baseline. There are nail cleans and cut short, long hair tie back for female, and for male is lean and short haircut, clean clothes, uniform, apron, and shoes, and etc. Next. And after check grooming, we do mise en place. We do a clean and sanitize. We must wear gloves for any ingredient preps, and then it's super important for students understand is the difference between cleaning and sanitizing. If you're not doing both, you are doing it wrong. That goes for surface, tools, glassware, dishes, and cutlery, and etc. To carry out the preference action, there are steps. The first one is cleaning, remove things you can see, such as food, dirt, and liquid, and use a clean cloth and food-safe antibacterial detergent or liquid cleaner, not just water, to wash down surface, tools, dishes, etc., and then rinse well. The second one is sanitizing, disinfecting, to killing the things you cannot see, such as bacteria, pathogen, and etc. After cleaning, spray down surface with a sanitizer and wipe off with a paper towel or a clean or with unused clothes. If you don't stock any sanitizer, according to WHO formula, for a food safe sanitizing solution is 5 milliliter of bleach mixed with 750 milliliter water, which can be used on surface, cutlery, bar tools, and the like. And you can also use boiling water for sanitizing tools and cutlery, but obviously be careful. Next. The Pino bar have 3 parts. Those are under bar, back bar, and front bar. And before class, we have to clean shelves and refrigeration, stock shelves, fridge, and wells, and then put this away and wipe down the bar top and stools with sanitizer. After that, set up service bar with picks, bar mats, and other items. And last, cut and display garnish. And after class, wipe down all bottles with a sanitizing rack, clean and sanitize steps, clean floor drains, and then wipe down and sanitize all tables, tools, and the bar counters. Throw napkins and other laundry into bin, and wash all the dirty tools. Next. Okay. And what we do for the tools, so beside the tools, we have a glassware. Yeah. We have to strict system for the washing and drying glassware. For both hygiene and aesthetic purpose, glassware should always be washed separately from everything else particularly items soiled by food, the most ideal way is with glass washing machine, which you simply fill with the proper solution and let it do cleaning, sanitizing, rinsing. But if you are washing by hand, you still need to follow the same process. The first process is rinse the glass, then use a clean cloth or brush wash with detergent and the dip in the glass wash sanitizer. And the second process is air dry in drying rack, not on a flat surface or towel, which can trap odors or bacteria inside the glass. If you really need it to dry manually, use clean and dry towel. Next. After that, look after your linens. Damp linens are ideal breeding grounds for bacteria and should be laundered. That means bath towels, previously mentioned. The first step is use separate clothes for cleaning dishes, glasses, and surface. Avoid sponges, which trap bacteria can be properly washed. And then use separate towel for drying hands and for drying anything else. Only ever use clean dry towel. And then once you have cleaning clothes or towel, put into the laundry pile to be washed and don't rinse and reuse it. Tips: if you worry about towels or clothes getting mixed up, design different colors or style for each task. Next. Okay, last. This is a special tip for practice class entering the new normal. First is provide hand sanitizer throughout the space, especially in high traffic, such as main entrance. And then require students to wash their hands before entering class. And then all students and lecturers should wear masks and also face shields for their own safety and that of others. Then conduct regularly temporary check. Then provide sanitizing wipes for student and lecturer use performal items. Eliminated anything share. And then keep your distance 2 meters apart. And last, don't touch your eyes, nose, or mouth. That's all that I can share for today, today's presentation. Thank you for listening. To close my presentation, here is video that will be conducted by my associate, Mrs. Deandra.
Hello everyone, I'm Dea. I'm an assistant lecturer here at UPH School of Hospitality and Tourism. Right now we are about to show you our bartending practicum class in the new normal era.
First thing first, we clean the bar floor area by mopping the floor and placing the bar mat. The next thing to do is sanitizing all of the bar areas starting from back bar, under bar, and front bar. Place all the bar displays in the bar back area. Sanitize your hand before preparation. Sanitize every equipment you will use. Sanitize the chiller. Sanitize the bar utensils with sanitizing chemical. Rinse them in hot water. Move the bar utensils into room temperature water for using. Sanitize the glasswares by repeating the same methods. Next, polish the glasswares. To avoid using the wrong cloth, use cloths with different colors or mark the cloth. Check the body temperature. The temperature cannot exceed 37.5 degrees Celsius. Use hand sanitizer, face mask, and face shield.
Once again, thank you all for being here today with us. I will leave it to the moderator. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Vasco. Very nice presentation from the FNB team. Ms. Dea also. All right, so we shall continue with the next speaker. The next speaker will be Pak Nonot Yuliantoro SOS MM. He is currently our head of laboratory in the hospitality management program. He is now currently pursuing his doctoral degree as well at Universitas Pelita Harapan, Faculty of Economics, and has 15 years of teaching experience in hospitality and tourism. His expertise is mostly in the food and beverage area. And also he is a member of the Indonesia Food and Beverage Association. And not to mention, he is also having experience, 10 years of experience in the cruise line industry. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Pak Nonot. Pak Nonot, the time is...
Thank you very much, Dr. Amelda. First of all, I would like to say good morning to all participants. Nice to meet you virtually in this webinar. Salam sehat selalu. Next slide, please. All right, in this special occasion, I would like to talk a little bit about safety, hygiene, and sanitation, and food production area for the new normal era in campus Pelita Harapan School of Hospitality and Tourism. Next, please. I believe that safety, hygiene, and sanitation is not a new issue, but this topic is always interesting to be discussed. Even nowadays, become a trending topic. It could be all over the world. Next slide, please. As we all know that safety, hygiene, and sanitation is the most important aspect of food and beverage production. Why is it important? Because kitchen, bakery, and patisserie are preparing a ready-to-eat product which is consumed by customer. It is very important to make sure that the food is safe to eat. Next slide, please. Actually, even before the outbreak of COVID-19, we realized that safety, hygiene, and sanitation has already become a mandatory standard in every food production establishment all over the world to make sure that all the food are safe to eat and also create professionalism in F&B operation with clean kitchen environment and also healthy personnel in charge. I believe that many chains, hotel and restaurant could run business since they certified with we call HACCP standard or probably any other certification depends on their country or area. Since they achieve it, they will maintain it as always. Next, please. During this pandemic COVID-19, we are entering new normal era to do all our activities. Of course, one thing as a part of hospitality and tourism industry, we have to reconcile with circumstances. Like our Mr. President said that kita harus berdamai dengan pandemi ini. Okay, next slide. Basically, we have familiar with safety, hygiene, and sanitation, like what I said before. But during this pandemic, what we need to do is pay attention to details and focus on a new habit about the standard of safety, hygiene, and sanitation itself. Okay, next slide. As a school of hospitality and tourism, we have a huge responsibility to prepare the future hotelier leader with an excellent skill and knowledge, including in food and beverage area. So what we do in this kind of situation then? Preparing a scheme for learning activities, practical class, for example, by following health protocol and focus on safety procedures, hygiene procedures, and sanitation procedures is a key point, including limitation the number of students in every single class, body temperature check, and washing hand before entering practicum area, wearing face mask, wearing face shield, wearing hand glove, and sanitizing kitchen area by disinfect touch point. Well, usually in our labs, in a kitchen area, one kitchen production usually accommodate 30 students, but during new era here, we only accommodate 15 because we maintain social distancing. Students before entering, they have to stand by and standing at least with 1.5 meter distance. And then we will call one by one. They are entering kitchen area and then they're standing at the position that we have to assign already. And afterward, the lecturer or instructor, they discuss about what the menu will be cooked and that day. And usually the lecturer or instructor already send the video, send the recipe before the D-Day. So during that day, they only brief for a few moments and then they start to do a cooking. Well, to make my presentation clearer, we will watch the short video. This video was prepared by our assistant lecturer, Friandi and Fabriola, presenting new normal activities at our kitchen area.
Greetings everyone! In this video, we will be showing the steps for sanitation in kitchen and pastry practicum class. Wet hands with water. Apply soap to cover all hand surfaces. Rub hands palm to palm with fingers interlaced. Wash backs of both hands and in between fingers. Clasp hands together and rub on both sides. Clean around the thumbs. Rinse hands with water. Dry hands thoroughly with a single-use towel. Apply hand sanitizer. Use mask, face shield, and hand gloves before entering practicum class. Assistant laboratorium cleans and disinfects objects and surfaces before and after practicum class. Students clean and disinfect objects and surfaces during practicum class. Face shield, mask, and hand gloves are used during the entire cooking process. Fill the sink with enough hot water. Soak cooking utensils in hot water. Wash and rinse the cooking utensils thoroughly. Dry thoroughly and differentiate storing according to each type.
Well, unfortunately, the short video is the last part of my presentation. I hope that you got a whole idea about safety, hygiene, and sanitation in a kitchen area. Thank you for your kind attention, and I deliver the time back to the moderator. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Pak Nonot, for your brief presentation. Okay, let's just go with the next presenter because time is really tight right now. Our next speaker will be Ibu Wulan Meaya Wawor, SAMM. She is currently our Rooms Division lecturer. She has a background degree, master's in management, and also undergraduate program from STIE Kalbis Jakarta and Diploma 3 for Rooms Division Management. So she has been doing so many experience in January until 2000 present now as our lecturer in the areas of front office, housekeeping, human resources management, and also event management. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Ibu Wulan Meaya Wawor.
All right. Thank you, Ibu Amelda. Good morning, participants. Good morning, Mr. Edmund Gong, and also good morning, Ibu Edina.
Ma'am Wulan,
deliver my presentation.
Ma'am Wulan, can you use your mic? because your sound doesn't seems to be very clear. Okay, just
Oh,
hold
but
the,
now
yeah, just hold the, yes.
clear?
Yes.
Yes,
All right, thank
okay.
you.
All right. In this opportunity, I'd like to deliver my presentation about the hotel room. It is a share about how protocol of COVID-19 is applied in our practicum classes, especially particularly about preparing bathroom in the new normal era. Okay, next please. Okay, this is the background, but I will explain more about it since Dr. Brock has already explained clearly previously. Right. Since that COVID-19 impacts the hotel industry and the industry is slowing down, but housekeeping is still alive. Okay. Cleaning from institution to institution or from school to school or hotel to hotel may differ. But I will emphasize the goal of housekeeping is remain the same or consistent to provide clean, comfort, attractive, and safe guest room. Right. Let's start from the guest room. In UPH, we have 10 guest rooms as a laboratory for housekeeping. Consists of twin bedded. Next slide, please. Okay. Consists of 4 twin bedded rooms and 6 double bedded rooms. And then the topic is next, please. Okay. This topic about how to prepare the clean room. So the objective for our students is the students will know how to prepare and clean their room with the COVID-19 protocol. Next, please. Through this topic, students are prepared to be competent in cleaning their room by fulfill the SAS, skill, knowledge, and attitude. For skills, students will be able to perform the cleaning duties in a true and efficient manner, and also manual handling. And then for knowledge, students will get the knowledge about working condition in all aspects, hotel and room facilities, knowledge of cleaning equipment and chemicals, procedure for cleaning rooms, security, particularly in regard to the COVID-19 protocol. And also the attitude, by this practice, students will be able to think, physical strength, able to follow the instructions with time management, attention to detail, professional attitude, ability to work independently, previous customer service experience, good communication skill, and also good organization skills. Next, please. This is about the personnel. The personnel who will involve with the practice will be students and mentors. Both students and mentors must meet the requirements. They have to in a good condition, very hot, sehat, tidak boleh sakit. With the body temp is not more than 37.3 derajat Celsius, and also wearing proper uniform, and they applying the protocol of distance. So we applied that one room there will be one student and one mentor. So the distance is more than 1 meter. Okay, next. Okay, this is the uniform. Okay, as you see the uniform for male and female. Okay, the difference is all just um, same, I think, yeah. Okay. Yeah, next please. And then this is the grooming. Okay, the grooming are remain the same as previously, but the additional one is every student must wearing the hand gloves and also face mask for this practice. Next please. Right. This is the sequence how the students doing their practice. First, they need to prepare themselves, washing and sanitizing their hands with a mask, and also attention to grooming. And then they can continue by filling the academic leave, and then after that, the student session, it will be like the instructor or the mentor. And then after that, they start fulfilling all material requisition forms in accordance with they will practice. And then after that, they will start. After that, they are practicing the cleaning methods and procedures in Fpar location. After practice, all the and returning to the Harapan store or the housekeeping store. In the cleaning process, they must using the disinfectant cleaner. After they are clean all the material, they need to wash and sanitize their hands before they attending the evaluation session. It will be led by the lecturer, instructor, or the member. Next, please. All right. This is the method. The method that will be used in preparing clean bathroom. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 methods. Making bath, cleaning bathroom, including shower bowl, toilet bowl, wash bucket and floor, and then cleaning glasses, dusting, and floor cleaning. Next, please. This is the material and equipment used, right? All the material and equipment used is at this disinfection first before use. And then for the cleaner, all the cleaner used is contained of disinfectant. Right, next. Next, please, yes. How we prepare the clean bathroom. It's divided into two procedures, daily cleaning and daily cleaning. Students usually just do the daily cleaning. Okay, which is consists of 21 steps. Start from knock the door until complete the report form. Okay. I would explain one by one, but as you can see, there is red color. That is the adjustment that we made in accordance of the COVID-19 protocol. Usually, we never open the windows, but now we need to for the air circulation. And number 7, clean linen. It must be packed in plastic bags. It's to ensure that the is clean and hygiene, free from the germs, bacteria or virus. So it must make that and replenish the blood, and then also this sorry.
Yeah, Ma'am Mulan, can you hear me?
Slide sebelumnya, please. Yeah, okay. Step number 10. Disinfectant bathroom by wiping it and also change the hand gloves. Yeah. Why wiping? Because if you spray virus or bacteria will fly to the air. Yeah, so it's better for us for cleaning bathroom. We just wipe. Okay, now cleaning glasses. Slide, please. Using the cleaner content of disinfectant and replenish the gas supply in the personal pack. Yeah. 14. Clean the floor by using cleaner content of disinfectant. Number 18. Disinfectant after we check all the areas of the room. We need to disinfect the room by spraying the disinfectant back. Then number 20, after we close and lock the door, we need to put the side sanitizing. It's informed that the room is already has been cleaned and sanitized. Next, please. This is the periodic cleaning. This part of cleaning will not do by the students, but will be done by the facility and general affairs division of UPH. It consists of two kinds of cleaning: general cleaning every 6 months, room fogging every 3 months, and room disinfecting every check on this. It's valid for check out this only. All right. Next, please. This is the reference how I make this presentation. And then before I end the presentation, I would like to share a short video about how to prepare the classroom, clean classroom, which will be led by the assistant lecturer, Ms. Pelita. Yes, please.
Hi everyone, my name is Pelita. I am an assistant lecturer at Pelita Harapan University, School of Hospitality and Tourism. Now, I will share to you how we do housekeeping practice in hotel room with hygiene and health safety protocol. So please enjoy our video.
Knock on door and wait for response.
Housekeeping. Housekeeping.
Enter when showroom is empty. Turn on lights if blinds are drawn. Open blinds and windows. Turn off lights and air conditioner. Remove all articles that do not belong in room. Street use beds. Remove soiled bedroom and bathroom linen. Bring clean linen that is wrapped in plastic. Replace hand gloves with new ones. Making beds. Collect and remove trash. Clean bathroom. Use 2 until 3 cloths to clean one object. Don't use some cloth to clean another object. Replace hand gloves with new ones. Replenish supplies. Disinfect bathroom by wiping it. Replace hand gloves with new ones. Cleaning glasses by using cleaner containing disinfectant. Dustroom by using cleaner containing disinfectant. Replenish gas supplies. Put waste basket in their place. Clean the floor by dry sweeping and mopping. Check all windows are closed and close blind. Check overall appearance of room. Disinfectant room by spraying it. Close and lock the door. Put the sanitized room sign. Complete the report forms.
So, that's all our video for housekeeping practice in hotel rooms at Pelita Harapan University. And thank you for watching our video.
Alright, thank you. Back to my slide, please. Alright, burung cendrawasih cukup sekian. Dan terima kasih. Thank you, Mas Ahmed. That's the end of my presentation. Hopefully, my presentation will be beneficial for all the participants. Thank you, Mas Ahmed.
Yes, thank you, Ma'am Wulan, for your presentation. Unfortunately, there has been a poor connection, I think, with your connection, yeah, Ma'am Wulan. Perhaps we can get back to you again later on for the question and session answer with a better mic, of course. Thank you, Ma'am Wulan. All right, so we shall proceed to the next presenter. Our next speaker will be Dr. Theodosia C. Natalia, Fpar, MM. She is our lecturer in Pelita Harapan School of Hospitality and Tourism since 2003 and experienced as a Deputy Department Head of Hospitality Management and also the Internship Program Coordinator from 2012 until 2016. She has also many awards. Yeah, 2016 as the best presenter in International Conference on Tourism for Gastronomy and Tourist Destination, and in 2012 to 2020 received a research grant from DICTI. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Dr. Theodosia. Pelita, please. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Amelda. Greeting for all participants. Hi, my name is Theodosia Natalia. How are you today? Today, I would like to share a little bit about strategies that in facing the normal in hospitality and tourism. Next slide, please. There are action axes for a global crisis situation. For example, is we can do something with our security because guests nowadays guests make safety and hygiene as a priority by choosing when they are choosing their accommodation to stay. And number two is the flexibility. For the flexibility, I think hotel have to make an unexpected changes when the vacation by the guest will be changed suddenly. And number three is number three, the hospitality. The hotel must ensure that detailed information will be provided at the website or the information needed by the guest, and they can easily get the information from the website or the social media. Next slide, please. What action can we make? First is for the security, we can create a register travelers. For example, it's like this. We create a register of travelers that record the history, recent trip, like at the airport. Usually they're asking about where do you from before, have you go to this kind of city, what do you do, and something like that. Number two is you have to avoid your guests by using the public transportation if possible. For example, if you are provided facility like transportation to or from the airport to your accommodation. Number 3 is provide frequent uniform laundry service, and then laundry and bedding to review the entire process of cleaning. Because sometimes guests are wondering, how about your cleaning procedures or how about your hygiene and something like that.
Ini kalau bisa mengatakan.
And then train the team to identify possible symptoms. For example, nowadays is our pandemic situation is about the coronavirus. So you have to train your staff to know the symptom of the illness, for example, and then maybe coughing or fever and so on. And then you have to implement a temperature control system at the rooms, for example, and then the ventilation system should be revised with a specific maintenance protocol. You have to be some protocol to maintain the ventilation system at your area, and then require external supplies to adhere the equivalent hygiene and safety measures. Next slide, please. And how about the flexibility? Why we need flexible to update for the guests to make a flexibility measures. For example, if the guests come to your hotel and they want to make a cancellation or modification about the check-in or check-out time, you must be available for the flexibility times. Number 2, you can offer free cancellation against local or international restriction in the large event. Or number 3, you can allow modification up to 24 hours before they are coming to your hotel. Number 4 is you can offer a comfort flexibility upgrade, for example, from standard to deluxe room, because sometimes sometimes guests want to stay more comfort than they stay before. And the last is being flexible with the check-in and check-out times. Usually, hotel provide 12 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the afternoon to check-in time. But sometimes guests already come to your hotel early in the morning. So you have to be flexible about the check-in time. So they won't do something like go on the road or stay on the street just to wait until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. You have to be more flexible about the time of check-in. Next. Hospitality. For the hospitality, you have to give all detailed information about the hospitality. For example, if your hotel provides medical care 24/7 to your guests, you have to provide it in the website or before the guests come to your hotel. Number 2 is you have to create a guide of the hotel action to prevent the illness caused by the virus. Number 3 is you have to assist your guests with all the preparation before arrival. Maybe you have to inform them what facility you can provide, so they want to find out other places to spend the vacation in your accommodation. And then the last is create guide of things to do during the stay. Next slide, please. So what we did, we can be prepared with the new normal. And number 2 is we can build awareness with the public by making a socialization video, for example. And then number 3 is we can involve the staff and students to make a socialization of the new healthy protocol. Next slide, please. So, how to marketing for the new normal? We can communicate our new normal or our action based on our security. For example, if we already have and hygiene at our area. Or number 2, by removing public dog by promoting maximum hygiene and measuring being implemented. So you can make video that inform that every time we provide facility or every time we serve the guests, we already follow the protocol by the government, for example. Next slide, please. Technology as a contingency tool. For example, you can socialize the health and hygiene protocol with the public. Number two, you can maximize the using of social media. And number three is you can inform the new normal that make investment innovation technology. For example, you buy something, I give you an example. China and Australia already make a robot for changing people activities, but Indonesia still consider technology only helping system or helping people to make a distancing with others. That's all. Because we know that people in Indonesia still choose tourism as their main job, for example. So Indonesia still good thing they choose as only for the system. Next slide.
Ma'am Ita?
Sorry, Ma'am Ames, can you hear me?
Yes, apparently your connection seems to be unstable. Yes, apparently your connection seems to be unstable, but it's okay. So please continue.
Okay. So what kind of protocol we can use? Protocol for gas and stain preventive measures against the spread of coronavirus. First is we can prevent direct contact with the guest by using a digital technology or QR code system. And number two, we can limit the person in the area. Like Parnonot say, maybe we can only provide 50% of the occupancy or maybe 50% of the employee that you're going to need to serve your guests. Number three is practice healthy protocol and social distancing by using face shield, mask, and gloves to do temperature check. For your information, for Indonesian, temperature check is maximum is 37.3. 7.3, yeah. And then the last is clean the room and spray the disinfectant. Next slide, please. This is Indonesia Protocol for Hotel and Restaurant. PHRI, as you know, Indonesian Hotel and Restaurant Association already make a book and the steps to be followed by all hotel. The first is the body temperature check. Number is the distance from one to another is minimum 1 meter. And then you have to provide hand sanitizer, hand wash, and the sink before in the hotel. So the employee, the guests should be washing their hands first before they entering hotel. Next slide, please.
Ma'am Ita, can you hear me, Ma'am Ita?
And then you can, yes, Ma'am Ames.
Yeah.
Okay, and then management of crowds. You can make internal SOP for public area, for example, at the lobby, elevator, restaurant, and terrace. And then you can make a poster or banner marker according to the needs of the situation of the area, trying to keep a distance between one person and another person. Minimum is 1 meter. Next slide, please.
Okay, Ma'am Ita, can you hear me? Yes, Ma'am Ita?
Yes, ma'am, I can hear you.
Yes, but it seems that you have problem with your connection. It is unstable and we cannot hear your voice.
Okay, I just make it faster. Is it
Yes,
possible?
can you conclude for us?
Okay, can you get until the last? Next slide, please. I want to share you what next. Using math already. Next slide, please. Next. Okay, so what Pelita Harapan do? to give the new learning in facing new normal in hospitality and tourism, especially in the front desk and public area. First, we adjust the curriculum, and number two is we make a new healthy protocol for our students, and number three is we are creating a safe practicing lab for students, so can they feel safe when they are doing learning at our lab. Okay, this is the end of my presentation. Thank you so much for your attention, and now our assistant lecturer will show you a video of our new learning in facing new normal in front desk and public area.
Hello everyone, I am KJ Christine, the Assistant Lecturer at Pelita Harapan School of Hospitality and Tourism. Due to pandemic situation, we need to follow the government rule to create a safe, healthy, and hygiene environment by applying the healthy protocol and social distancing. In front office practical classes, the students learn about visual hotel program and front office counter, where the students learn to do the role play about being the front desk agent. Because now is the new normal, so these classes will be divided into 2 batches, which only half of the students will be allowed to join the classes. Here are some new protocols that will be applied in front office classes.
Creating a healthy environment is really important. The best thing that we can do are practicing the healthy protocols to ensure the study process will be safe and comfortable. The students must practice the social distancing 1 until 2 meters, preventing direct contact with hands when doing the activities around the campus. Before the students start the class, it is a must to wash the hands to prevent spreading the bacteria. The students must use the face shield and hand glove while doing the practical lesson. This is our front office counter practical lesson. We will limit the amount of the people that will be joining the class. Upgrading the check-in system in front office counter class by using barcode system. Preventing direct contact with all of the things that the student touch in the class is really important. Because we are using the computerized system for visual hotel program, all of the equipment including the monitor, keyboard, and mouse must be cleaned and sanitized with the alcohol. Last, spray the disinfectant spray. So this is front office practical class visual hotel program. The students must use the face shield, hand glove, and wear the full grooming. During the class, the student must keep the social distancing.
All right. Thank you. Ma'am Ita seems to have a little bit of problem with the connection. Thank you so much, Ma'am Ita, for your presentation, and also Miss Kezia for the lovely video. We will arrive to our last presenter, our last speaker. Our last speaker is Ibu Justisia Christiana SST MM. She is the Department Chair of Travel Industry Management Program here at UPH. And she is also the Assessor for Indonesia Sustainable Tourism Award, the member of Tourism Intellectual Association. She held her master degree in Human Resources Management at Universitas Pelita Harapan, and 15 years of hospitality and tourism teaching experience, mostly in the area of ecotourism, sustainable tourism development, and tourism planning. She writes many books and also articles related to travel and tourism. And ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Ibu Justisia Christiana.
Thank you, Dr. Amelda Prameswari. Good morning, Venerable invited keynote speaker, Dr. Edmund Go, and our Dean of School of Hospitality and Tourism, Dr. Dina Mutiara Lemi, and to all participants. I hope all participants are still excited because I'm the last speaker. And we have listened from other speakers for the hotel industry. Now let me present about learning experience entering the new normal from travel industry management. Next, please. In travel industry management, we have theory and practice classes. First, I will explain about the theory classes. For current condition, all theory classes will be conduct online learning. Online learning is carried out with asynchronous and synchronous approach. For asynchronous, the information sources can be PowerPoint, books, journal, and video reference. And for synchronous, will be used the digital platforms such as Microsoft Teams and Zoom. Next, please. For practice classes, for the coming semester, it is still not possible to carry out practice classes, so learning process will be carried out with asynchronous and synchronous online learning. Practice classes on campus and field study will be held when conditions are safe. Practice classes on campus will use our laboratory. Next slide, please. As I mentioned earlier, the study program are conducted when conditions are safe, and also we will consider government policies. Selected tourism destinations are those that implement health protocols. Practice classes conducted at travel industry management include, next slide please. Tour planning. For tour planning subject, we will provide materials through demonstration videos and simulation videos, and also tour guiding subject, check-in counter simulation, and travel simulation. Some practice classes will use our laboratory, as I mentioned before. Next, please. Health protocols carried out in the new normal area are wearing face mask, body temperature checking, using hand sanitizer, and physical distancing. Now I will explain about the procedure for conducting our practice classes. For tour guiding at bus simulation. First, each simulation session is a maximum of 10 people. For practice classes, we limit to only 10 people per session. Before entering the laboratory, must do the health protocol, and students who practice as tour guide are wearing face mask, face shield, and gloves, and other students who become tour participants are wearing face masks, practicing physical distancing, and sitting apart. Next slide, please. For walking tour in the campus area, we also do the limitation for the every session. Each group is a maximum of 10 people, and students who practice as tour guide are wearing face mask, face shield, and gloves, and other students who become tour participants are wearing face masks and practicing physical distancing. Next slide, please. City tour by tour bus. If the conditions are safe, we are going to do the city tour by our tour bus. And bus will reduce capacity by half in passengers. We are disinfecting bus before program. And body temperature check before entering a bus. We always remind the students to use hand sanitizer. And students who practice as tour guide are wearing face masks, face shield, and gloves. And other students who become tour participants are wearing face masks, practicing physical distancing, and sitting apart. Next, please. For check-in simulation, each simulation session is maximum of 10 people. Before entering the lab, must do the health protocol, and the laboratory will be equipped with counter seal. Students who practice as check-in officer are wearing face masks and gloves, and other students who become passengers are wearing face masks and practicing physical distancing. Next, please. For travel simulation, we also do the same protocols. Each simulation session is a maximum of 10 people. Before entering the laboratory, must do the health protocol. And students who practice as travel consultant are wearing face shield and face mask. And other students who become customer are wearing face mask. And now, we will listen Mr. Agung Putranto as our Assistant Lecturer of Travel Industry Management to present the video of learning experience entering the new normal from Travel Industry Management.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Travel Industry Management Integrated Lab. My name is Anugrah Agung Putranto. I am the Assistant Lecturer at the School of Hospitality and Tourism in Universitas Pelita Harapan. Today, I'll be showcasing you the activities that you can expect to do at Travel Industry Management while following the hygiene, health, safety, and environmental protocols. Enjoy the video.
Face mask and physical distancing are mandatory during all activities in theory class. Participants of the bus guiding simulation are seated apart to support physical distancing inside the bus. In addition, the tour guide must wear a face shield and disposable gloves. Similarly, during walking tours, every participant must stand apart from each other to maintain physical distancing at all times. Students are required to wear disposable hand gloves and stand behind acrylic separators during check-in simulations. Face shields, gloves, and face masks are to be used during travel simulations. Travel simulations are set up for a maximum of 2 people per desk. Field study participants must use the hand sanitizer before boarding the bus. Participants are seated apart to support physical distancing inside the bus. In addition, the tour guide must wear a face shield and disposable gloves.
So, those were the activities that you can expect to do at Travel Industry Management. Please remember to stay safe, stay healthy, and thank you for watching the video.
Thank you for your time and attention. I give it back to our moderator, Dr. Amelda Prameswari.
Thank you, Ma'am Yusti, and also Agung for the wonderful presentation. Yeah. Well, to all speakers today that have already explained about the new normal activities for learning in our school, hopefully it can give all the participants here a clear insight and of how to and how we are going to cope this with the new normal era later on if we are allowed to come back to campus for the next semester. All right, so we have arrived at the question and answer sessions. Can the committee please? All right. Okay, the first question. The first question is from Pak Muhammad Riza Surya Nugraha from Hotel Olympic Renotel Sentul Bogor. The question is for Pak Jimmy Situmorang. Pertanyaannya adalah bagaimana saran dan pesan, excuse me, can the host unmute the mic first please? Pak Riza menanyakan bagaimana saran dan pesan dari Bapak sebagai Deputy Head of Hospitality Management UPH untuk kami menyikapi pandemi COVID-19 ini sebagai hotelier ataupun pekerja di bidang sektor pariwisata yang kehilangan pekerjaan tapi tetap ingin berusaha untuk kembali bekerja apapun bidangnya agar bisa menghidupi anak istri keluarga kami kembali ke depannya. Sedangkan lapangan pekerjaan di sektor pariwisata sedang menurun. Ya, again, it's a touching question ya, Pak Jimmy. Apparently a little bit the same ya dengan situasi yang kita hadapi saat ini. Perhaps Pak Jimmy would like to answer pertanyaan dari Pak Riza related to how to bagaimana menyikapi pandemi COVID-19. Kami persilahkan Pak Jimmy.
Thank you very much, Mames. Selamat pagi, Pak Muhammad Riza Surya Nugraha dari Hotel Olympic Renotel Sentul Bogor. Saya merasakan bagaimana pandemi COVID ini sudah, saya coba bahasa Indonesia ya, sudah terasa berat dalam dunia hospitality dan tourism. Ada dua solusi yang bisa saya berikan. Mungkin yang pertama, kita tetap dengan program pemerintah, yaitu program Kartu Prakerja. Kita juga masih diberikan uang oleh negara, dan kemungkinan kita bisa apply new skills sampai masa pandemi ini berakhir, sampai post-COVID. Begitu banyak permintaan atau demand di industri perhotelan, kita bisa kembali bergabung, dan mungkin dengan tambahnya new skills, kita bisa apply untuk tingkatan yang lebih tinggi lagi. Yang kedua, berdasarkan research dan pendapat ahli, research dari Nielsen dan McKinsey, kedepannya itu tren utama di food and beverage adalah food and beverage delivery atau take out. Jadi beberapa skill bisa Bapak apply di situ. Contohnya yang laku sekarang ya kopi susu gula aren yang 1 literan atau jualan nasi rice ball. Bapak bisa delivery dengan berbagai cara, dengan mobil, motor, sepeda, atau dengan hal lainnya. Nah, semuanya sudah digitize, jadi Bapak atau siapapun boleh memperkaya dirinya di dalam media sosial. Kebetulan di webinar kita akan ada webinar series bagaimana mengaktifkan media sosial, jadi follow our next webinar. Dari saya itu aja, Dr. Amelda, terima kasih.
Baik, terima kasih Pak Jimmy. Tadi juga sudah disampaikan Pak Dr. Edmund Goy ya, terkait dengan apa yang bisa kita lakukan ya di saat ini adalah we have to be flexible. Kita tidak bisa only bertumpu pada one source of income ya, but we have to be agile ya, cerdas menyikapinya, fleksibel dengan skills kita belajar banyak hal baru, mencoba berbagai hal baru. Setuju Pak Jimmy? Hopefully Pak Muhammad Riza, jawabannya Pak Jimmy ini boleh jadi new inspiration ya, untuk nanti ke depannya Pak Riza mungkin bisa jadi pengusaha ya di bidang food and beverage. Terima kasih Pak Riza. Pak Jimmy, thank you for your answer. Now,
a pleasure, Dr. Amelda.
Let's continue with the second questions. Okay, from one of our students, Forbes, ya, at Universitas Pelita Harapan. This question goes to Pak Vasco. Bagaimana mahasiswa dapat menjalankan protokol ini di era new normal? Maksudnya adalah protokol di bidang hospitality and tourism semuanya ya, termasuk di dalam hospitality education. Kami persilakan Pak Vasco untuk menjawabnya.
Baik, terima kasih.
Ya,
Ames. Best. Oke, bagaimana? Terima kasih Forbes atas pertanyaannya. Bagaimana mahasiswa dapat menjalankan protokol di hospitality ini, terutama di pendidikan hospitality ini di era new normal. Baik, saya akan coba menjawab. Mungkin dari program studi sendiri ini sudah membuat suatu rumusan, di mana kita sudah mendesain sebuah training program. Training program ini ditujukan bagi semua all student members ya. Jadi maksudnya ini adalah need to go through ya. Terus yang kedua, selama kelas kita akan selalu melakukan brief kepada all student sebelum masuk kelas ya, untuk mengingatkan atau remind them of prosedur. Ini juga penting. Terus yang berikutnya adalah kita membuat checklist untuk cleaning routines. Jadi ketika kelas buka dan kelas tutup during service. Yang terakhir, regularly conduct check, make sure all prosedur are up to par. Mungkin itu yang bisa saya jawab. Terima kasih. Saya kembalikan kepada moderator.
Ya, thank you Pak Vasco atas jawabannya. Mudah-mudahan bisa menjawab pertanyaan dari Forbes ya. Thank you Pak Vasco. The next question please. Ya, ini dari Ibu Nuharani. Ya, institusinya STP. Mungkin nanti bisa disampaikan ini dari STP mana ya Ibu. Nah, ini pertanyaannya untuk Pak Nonot ya, related dengan all the presentation. Jadi di sini ditanyakan, when I pay attention to the presentation, all things run just like usual. The only additional step is make sure that everything is clean indeed. Is that right? Please give your explanation. Mungkin Pak Nonot bisa menjawab pertanyaan ini. Silakan Pak Nonot.
Well, thank you very much Ibu Dr. Amelda. Thank you Ibu Nuharani. The question is, it seems that new normal era, just like usual, just all thing just like usual, just clean and sanitize.
Ya, maksudnya mungkin Bu Nuharani ingin penjelasan, Pak. Nampaknya dari semua step-step yang sudah ditampilkan dalam presentation ini, ya, adalah hanya step-step tentang implementing atau memasukkan cleanliness saja gitu, tidak ada yang baru katanya. Nah, mungkin boleh dijelaskan apa saja yang membedakan dari before, ya, khususnya di bidang Panonot F&B and F&B production itu adalah seperti apa step-stepnya, and then after. Memang it seems like cleanliness, health, hygiene, safety ini adalah hal yang remeh-temeh ya, tapi nampaknya kalau di situasi pandemi seperti ini, perhaps Panonot punya insight the importance of hygiene and sanitation, embedding it into our steps of curriculum, especially for the practicum practices. Terima kasih, silakan Panonot dijawab.
Baik, thank you. I will explain in our lovely bahasa Indonesia to make it clearer.
Yes.
Jadi begini, memang kalau kita melihat sepintas new normal era ini akan seperti pada dasarnya kita sepertinya harus bersih-bersih saja. Tapi kita harus ingat setelah kita melihat dan menelaah kondisi secara menyeluruh, ternyata sekarang hampir setiap negara karena pandemi ini melanda seluruh dunia, semua negara sekarang departemen atau kementerian kesehatannya mengambil alih untuk protokol kesehatan yang diberlakukan di setiap negara. Sebenarnya memang seperti yang tadi saya katakan dalam presentasi saya, di hospitality, khususnya di food and beverage, itu sifatnya sudah mandatory untuk bisa running bisnis. Perusahaan-perusahaan yang levelnya sudah established, mereka harus mempunyai sertifikat HACCP. Itu adalah sebuah step atau prosedur yang tidak boleh enggak, harus dilakukan untuk mengantisipasi adanya foodborne illness ataupun suatu lingkungan yang mendukung adanya sesuatu yang tidak pada kondisi yang terbaik secara higienitas maupun sanitasinya. Nah, perbedaannya sekarang yang pasti adalah hotel-hotel besar pun kebetulan sebelum seminar saya sempat kontak dengan teman-teman yang masih aktif di hotel. Mereka juga bercerita bahwasanya even hotel-hotel bintang 5 di Jakarta rata-rata sekarang sudah mengikuti protokol yang dikeluarkan oleh Kementerian Kesehatan, karena per April 2020 Kementerian Kesehatan sudah merilis sebuah protokol untuk TPP, tempat pengolahan makanan, itu masuk dalam kategori di F&B untuk mereka mengikuti protokol tersebut. Meskipun mereka sebenarnya juga sudah certified secara internasional untuk HACCP. Artinya di sini ada sebuah kondisi di mana tidak hanya sekedar bersih dan seperti yang sudah-sudah, tapi di sini ada sebuah protokol di mana kita lebih fokus, lebih memperhatikan salah satu contohnya seperti social distancing. Jadi kita tidak bisa lagi dengan satu ruangan, banyak orang yang bekerja di sana, kemudian kita juga harus dilengkapi dengan alat pelindung diri yang benar-benar meminimais terjadinya kontak dengan orang lain ataupun dengan objek yang sedang dikerjakan di area F&B. Memang akhirnya kalau kita melihat sepintas hampir mirip seperti yang sudah-sudah, tapi pada kenyataannya ada sebuah kondisi di mana kita benar-benar dihadapkan dengan situasi bahwasanya ini prioritas untuk kita mempunyai habit, mempunyai kebiasaan, mempunyai prosedur kerja yang mana kita harus benar-benar mengantisipasi diri kita maupun orang lain, karena kita di era new normal ini hidup berdampingan dengan virus yang saat ini menjadi wabah di dunia ini. Jadi itu yang menurut saya menjadi hal yang pembeda. Jadi saya ulang, pada dasarnya di hospitality, khususnya di F&B, kita sudah mempunyai sebuah standar yang memang hygiene, safety itu menjadi sesuatu yang wajib, yang tidak bisa ditolak lagi, karena memang itu menjadi sesuatu yang harus kalau kita dealing dengan produk makanan ataupun minuman. Nah, dengan adanya pandemik ini, kita diminta untuk lebih lagi, fokus lagi, dengan meminimais jangan sampai terjadi sebuah outbreak ini menjadi lebih lama atau menjadi menyebar, dan kita menjadi salah satu bagian daripada korbannya gitu. Jadi cara kita bisa hidup berdampingan atau berdamai dengan pandemi, suasana pandemi ini adalah kita harus memproteksi diri, memproteksi orang lain, memproteksi makanan, minuman, jangan sampai menjadi tempat untuk penyebaran itu terjadi. Saya rasa begitu, Ibu Amelda, penjelasan dari saya. Semoga bisa memberikan penambahan pemahaman bahwasannya memang ini tidak seakan-akan hanya bersih-bersih saja. Ada sebuah protokol yang memang harus diikuti karena sudah diberlakukan di mana-mana. Intinya setiap negara sekarang mengambil alih untuk proses itu dijalankan sesuai dengan kebijakan politik tiap negara. Terima kasih.
Baik, terima kasih Pak Nonot ya. Jadi kita di sini ada changing behavior, changing attitude ya. Kalau sebelumnya mungkin we neglect cleanliness, hygiene ya, tapi sekarang sudah tidak bisa ditawar lagi, dan bahkan it's not an easy job ya to make everybody more aware to wash their hands ya. Sehari itu harus setiap 2 jam, bahkan when we touch something atau apa, kita harus sering-sering sanitize hands ya, dan membersihkan lingkungan atau area tempat kita berada ya. That's not an easy things, but we have to create new habits ya, entering the new normal. Baik, terima kasih Pak Nonot, mudah-mudahan menjawab pertanyaan dari Ibu Nuharani. Kita masih ada waktu. Berikutnya pertanyaannya, kita limit only one question ya, karena sudah jam 11.52. Ya. Baik. Ini pertanyaannya dari Erina, Universitas Pelita Harapan, untuk Ibu Wulan. Pertanyaannya adalah, what can we do as graduates who's into rooms division in the middle of this era new normal? Maksudnya adalah ini dari Erina, apa yang bisa dilakukan ya oleh graduates yang ingin masuk ke dalam rooms division ya in the middle of this new normal era. Mungkin Memulan bisa menjawab pertanyaannya. Memulan, are you there? Apakah koneksinya sudah stabil, Memulan?
Oke. Gema ya, Mem?
Ya, a little bit, but it's okay.
Baik, jawab pertanyaan Erina. Saya rasa yang perlu dipersiapkan adalah kita mempersiapkan diri kita sendiri. Seperti tadi kaitannya.
Memulan, please unmute your mic. Ya, silakan Memulan. Please unmute. Mungkin kita bisa kembali nanti setelah Memulan mic-nya oke ya. Sebentar kita akan kembali lagi ke Memulan. Mungkin selanjutnya, pertanyaan selanjutnya boleh ditampilkan dulu. Nanti setelah itu Memulan kalau sudah oke mic-nya, kita akan menjawab pertanyaan dari Erina. Ya. Yang berikutnya adalah pertanyaan dari Nicholas. Nicholas untuk Ibu Dr. Theodosia. Pertanyaannya adalah, apa yang harus dipersiapkan untuk training di front office pada era new normal? Mem Ita, apakah connection sudah stable?
Sudah, Mem.
Ya, silakan Mem Ita.
Baik, terima kasih Nicholas. Jadi pertanyaannya, apa yang harus dipersiapkan untuk training di front office pada era new normal? Karena kita bicaranya adalah front office di bagian kantor depan, Berarti training yang pertama adalah training bagaimana menghadapi atau mempersiapkan diri menerima tamu. Itu pertama. Jadi tadi yang seperti sudah dijelaskan ada training dalam menerima tamu dari sejak mereka datang sampai dengan mereka check out. Yang kedua adalah training karena ini berarti low season ya, low season. Jadi berarti ada masa-masa yang kita bisa training ilmu baru seperti penggunaan teknologi contohnya. Jadi penggunaan teknologi karena kita sudah akan menerapkan teknologi yang terbaru, sehingga training-training dalam menggunakan teknologinya dianggap sudah penting. Itu dari saya. Terima kasih.
Baik, terima kasih Ma'am Ita. Oke, boleh pertanyaan berikutnya? Ya. Pertanyaan berikutnya dari Anugrah Agung Putranto, Universitas Pelita Harapan, untuk Ibu Justisia Kristiana. Perbedaan apa saja yang harus diadaptasikan pada saat membuat tour planning di era new normal? Kami persilahkan Mem Yusti untuk menjawab.
Baik, terima kasih Dr. Amelda. Saya akan mencoba menjawab pertanyaan dari Agung. Jadi perbedaannya apa yang kita adaptasikan pada saat membuat tour planning di era new normal? Kami dari program studi Travel Industry Management telah melakukan redesigning kurikulum. Jadi kurikulum sudah kami sesuaikan dengan kondisi saat ini, dan terkait dengan tour planning dan juga mata kuliah lainnya, kami memasukkan kajian yang berkaitan dengan clean, health, safety, and environment, seperti yang juga tadi sudah ditampilkan di video. Kami juga memasukkan kajian-kajian atau materi terkait dengan manajemen krisis, karena ini yang sangat diperlukan saat ini, bagaimana mengatasi atau mempersiapkan manajemen krisis. Tadi juga sudah disebutkan oleh Dr. Edmundo, krisis manajemen ini sangat diperlukan, dan mahasiswa kami persiapkan untuk bisa mengetahui atau memahami mengenai krisis manajemen. Kami juga melihat bagaimana perkembangan yang diberikan ataupun dikeluarkan dari kementerian terkait, dalam hal ini Kementerian Pariwisata dan Ekonomi Kreatif, mengikuti semua protokol yang telah dikeluarkan, baik juga oleh Kementerian Kesehatan, sehingga pada saat membuat tour planning, kami melihat trennya ke depan adalah dalam grup yang relatif kecil dengan jumlah peserta yang tidak banyak, jadi small group. Kemudian pilihan destinasinya adalah alam dan juga yang terkait dengan wisata kesehatan. Jadi hal terkait dengan itu akan kami coba masukkan di dalam mata kuliah tour planning, dan banyak yang melihat ke depan bahwa trennya akan dalam waktu yang tidak terlalu panjang pada saat berlibur. Jadi dalam short time period. Jadi pada saat membuat paket-paket wisata, kami juga tidak terlebih dahulu saat ini membuat paket-paket yang panjang, tetapi paket-paket singkat, dan itu dilakukan dengan jumlah peserta yang tidak banyak. Itu yang kami adaptasi untuk kondisi saat ini. Demikian Dr. Amelda yang bisa kami sampaikan.
Ya, baik. Terima kasih Ibu Justisia. Ya, mudah-mudahan itu bisa menjawab pertanyaan dari Agung, ya, dari Anugrah Agung. Baik, sepertinya waktunya sudah hampir selesai, tapi kita masih ada satu pertanyaan lagi untuk Mem Wulan. Apakah Mem Wulan connection-nya sudah oke? Boleh, Mem Wulan?
Baik, Mem Ames, sudah terdengar, clear?
Ya, clean sekarang.
Oke.
Silakan.
Baiklah, saya pindah-pindah berapa kali.
Tapi yang ini bagus connection-nya.
Alright. So, Erina ceritanya adalah graduates, jadi lulusan yang akan masuk dalam dunia rooms division. Apa yang harus dipersiapkan adalah mempersiapkan diri sehubungan dengan situasi yang ada sekarang, bahwa hotel industri mulai menjalankan protokol COVID di semua lininya. Untuk itu, jika kita memang akan memasuki industri, tentunya kita harus mempersiapkan diri kita, merubah perilaku kita seperti tadi yang sudah dibahas oleh Pak Nonot, merubah perilaku yang darinya mungkin tidak care terhadap kesehatan, tapi sekarang menjadi sangat care. Itu satu. Yang kedua adalah tentunya memperlengkapi pengetahuan kita sehubungan juga dengan keadaan pandemi ini. Ada banyak sekali yang bisa digali lagi pengetahuan-pengetahuan itu, sehingga nantinya itu yang akan memperlengkapi kita untuk bisa bertahan atau memasuki industri hotel di era new normal sekarang ini. Mungkin begitu saja, Mem Ames, mengingat waktunya sudah sangat terbatas. Terima kasih.
Ya, baik. Terima kasih Mem Wulan atas jawabannya. Baiklah, tepat pukul 12 sudah ya. Kami akhiri sesi tanya jawab ya di sesi ini. Nah, may I conclude one simple conclusion for this webinar. Adjusting and adapting to new ways of learning and doing things in the hospitality and tourism education will be challenging for all of us, including academicians, students, and also practitioners. But as everybody have agreed, and it has been talked of so many webinars, so many experts in this field of area of industry, the things that we need to do is we are in this together. So we have, for the time being, we have to be agile. We need to be creative. We need to be flexible. We seek for alternative ways on how to manage this crisis. And we have to practice clean health safety issues as a new habit in every parts of our life. Well, that's the conclusion of today's webinar. I hope everybody is beneficial for everybody, our today's webinar. And for the next session, we will continue with the certificate presentation. Yes, for the certificate presentation, I would like to invite Dr. Dina. Is Dr. Dina here?
Yes, Ma'am Ames.
Yes, thank you, Ma'am Dina. We will be presenting certificate of appreciation to all the speakers who have shared their knowledge today. And I would like to give this opportunity to Ma'am Dina to present the certificates to all speakers. Time is yours, Ma'am Dina.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Amelda, for a great moderating for this session. So herewith, I would like to give the highest appreciation to all of the speakers, starting from Dr. Edmungo, and then followed by our speaker. First, I would like to present the certificate to Bapak Jimmy Situmorang, BSc MBA. Please give a big appreciation to. Okay, and the second certificate is going to present to Bapak Vasco Aha Gultom, SST Par MM. Let's give him a big applause. And the third speaker, Bapak Nonot Yuliantoro Esos MM, for presenting about the new normal in kitchen area practicum. So let's give Pak Nonot a big applause. The fourth certificate will be presented to Ibu Wulan Meyaya Wawor, SAMM. Thank you so much for sharing with us the new normal in housekeeping practicum. Let's give her a big applause. The next certificate will be presented to Dr. Theodosia C. Natalia, SST Par MM. Thank you for sharing the video and the presentation about how to do practicum in front office area in the new normal era. Let's give her a big applause. Okay. Last but not least, we would like to present the certificate to Ibu Justisia Kristiana SST MM, for presenting and sharing her insights about how to do practicum in the era of new normal in the area of travel industry management. Let's give her a big applause. With this, I would like to say that I am very proud and very thankful to all the I would like to highly appreciate all of our speakers for giving their insight, sharing their thoughts about what should we do in the era of new normal, in the area of hospitality and tourism education. I hope everyone that participate today can get beneficial updates, information, and knowledge about
Ma'am Dina. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Ma'am Dina, for the certificate presentation. All right, that would be our webinar for today. I will give the time back to the MCs to announce furthermore. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy and have a lovely day.
Thank you, Ma'am Ames. Wow, what an interesting and informative webinar. Thank you to all the speakers of this webinar. Thank you to Ibu Christine, Dr. Edmund Go, Bapak Jimmy, Bapak Fasko, Bapak Nonot, Ibu Ulan Meya, Dr. Theodosia, and also Ibu Justisia for the insights to get ready for the new normal era.
Terima kasih sebelumnya kami ucapkan kepada seluruh pembicara, terima kasih kepada Ibu Christine, kepada Dr. Emungo, kepada Bapak Jimmy, Bapak Fasko, Bapak Nonot, Ibu Wulan, Dr. Theodosia, dan Ibu Justisia atas penyampaian materi yang sangat menarik. Juga sangat informatif bagi pembekalan kami semua dalam mempersiapkan diri untuk memasuki era new normal.
We would like to remind everyone to fill a feedback form in order to get an e-certificate. Our committee had already posted the feedback and all materials link on the webinar chat.
Kami menghimbau para peserta untuk mengisi form feedback agar dapat mendapatkan e-sertifikat. Panitia kami telah mempost link untuk feedback dan semua materi dari sesi seminar ini di chat webinar.
Now we are going to start our photo session. We would like to invite all the participants to turn on the camera.
Sekarang kita akan melakukan sesi foto. Kami mengundang seluruh peserta untuk dapat menyalakan kameranya.
Baik, terima kasih. Sekarang kami sudah berada di sesi foto bersama. Mohon kepada seluruh para peserta untuk menyalakan kamera dan menyiapkan senyumnya yang terbaik. Pada webinar hari ini ada 26 halaman foto. Saya akan memulai dari halaman pertama. Para peserta dimohon untuk bersiap. Halaman pertama, 1, 2, 3. Halaman kedua, 1, 2, 3. Halaman ketiga, 1, 2, 3. Halaman keempat, 1, 2, 3. Halaman kelima, 1, 2, 3. Halaman keenam, 1, 2, 3. Halaman ketujuh, 1, 2, 3. Halaman ke-8, 1, 2, 3. Halaman ke-9, 1, 2, 3. Halaman 10, 1, 2, 3. Halaman 11, 1, 2, 3. Halaman 12, 1, 2, 3. Halaman 13, 1, 2, 3. Halaman 14, 1, 2, 3. Halaman ke-15, 1, 2, 3. Halaman ke-16, 1, 2, 3. Halaman ke-17, 1, 2, 3. Halaman ke-18, 1, 2, 3. Halaman ke-19, 1, 2, 3. Halaman ke-20, 1, 2, 3. Halaman ke-21, 1, 2, 3. Halaman ke-22, 1, 2, 3. Halaman ke-23, 1, 2, 3. Halaman ke-24, 1, 2, 3. Halaman ke-25, 1, 2, 3. Baik, sesi foto bersama telah selesai. Saya kembalikan ke MC.
Thank you. Before we end this webinar, let us gather in a prayer and I will be leading the prayer in Christian, the rest may follow.
Sebelum kita mengakhiri webinar pada hari ini, mari kita bersatu di dalam doa. Doa akan dipimpin secara Kristiani, yang lain harap menyesuaikan.
Our Father in heaven, thank you for your guidance throughout this webinar. Please bless us and protect us wherever we are so that we can glorify your name even more. Thank you, our Father in heaven. We return all the praise and glory to you. In the name of Jesus we pray. Amen. And we have come to an end of our webinar series for today. We would like to send our gratitude to all speakers, lecturers, committees, and all participants who have made this second webinar series memorable for all of us.
Kami mengucapkan banyak terima kasih kepada para pembicara, Bapak Ibu dosen, seluruh panitia, dan juga para peserta yang telah berpartisipasi dan membuat webinar series kedua ini berkesan untuk kita semua.
And don't miss out our next webinar, which is on Friday, the 27th of July. Please check our Instagram at uph.Faculty of Tourism for the next webinar updates.
Jangan sampai ketinggalan di webinar kami yang berikutnya, yakni webinar kami yang ketiga pada hari Senin 27 Juli 2020. Untuk informasi lebih lanjut, kalian bisa follow @uph.Faculty of Tourism untuk informasi webinar yang berikutnya.
Thank you everyone and see you on the next webinar series.
Terima kasih dan sampai jumpa di webinar series berikutnya.